Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Skip Popp Stadium here at Sequoia High School. I am Chase Shaffer. Last week we were joined by a former Sequoia chief in Eric Robinson. You knew him as E-Rob. Another person that knew him is my guest here today, Ben Ferris. Ben, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you, sir?
Not too bad. You know, another member of that very, very good Sequoia Chiefs defense from back in that year. I think you guys only allowed, I think we talked about 90 points that entire season. Unfortunately, 50 of them were in one game, but, but for the most part, that defense was pretty lights out.
Absolutely, yeah. If you can think back, it's crazy to think that it's been, 13 years now, which is wild. But, yeah, those were some really good times.
Yeah, they were, and you know that team was so good, and we'd be remiss if we didn't mention that a member of that team, Tyler Reedy, had passed away recently. So we want to send our condolences here as members of the Sequoia family out to his family as well and loved ones. But Ben, you know you've stuck around the Cherokee County area. It appears. What are you up to these days?
Well, I am at River Ridge High School. I'm in my 9th year, so straight out of college. I went to River Ridge, my first job, and I've been there ever since.
You like it over there better?
It's good. It's good. It's better. Yeah, that's interesting. My first game as a high school coach was here in Skip Popp Stadium. So
that's crazy.
But I was just on the other sideline, and I had to go in a whole different room. So yeah, it was kind of different.
You know, it was funny. A couple years ago, I was covering a game in Bartow County, and it was Cass versus Villarica, and I'm out on the field after the game, and who do I bump into as I'm trying to get a quote from the head coach at Cass, but Coach Cox.
There we go.
And so I walked up to Coach Cox for a second, and he kind of looked at me, and I kind of looked at him, and I was like, Coach, I don't know if you remember. And he goes, oh, my goodness, how have you been, man?
That's awesome.
But, you know, what's one of the reasons that a lot of people stay in Cherokee County? You know, I've talked to a lot of people about this, and everybody's just really high on Cherokee County as a community as a whole. Even when we talk to some of the members of the law enforcement public safety community, they say this is one of the best places to serve. So what is it about Cherokee County that stands out from the rest of the places?
Yeah, I think you hit it when you said community. You know, my dad opened up Sequoia. He was one of the charter chiefs, as you like to say, in 1990, and that's when I was born. So I've been here literally my whole life. So to leave, you know, going to college, I left, you know, it's about 3 hours away. But being around here, my wife is from here. So everybody, extended family, that community really is truly just in Cherokee County. So yeah, that's it.
And more specifically, Sequoia, you know, from a very young age, as soon as you guys start playing ball, you guys are kind of immersed in this Cherokee County style of football, particularly at Sequoia because they play, you know, a very unique offensive style. It's like from the time you put pads on, you know how to run a wing tee offense. And it's just really cool to see how these kids go all the way from the beginning of the system all the way to the final product, which is what we see here. But speaking of that, since you're over at River Ridge now, how about this River Ridge Knights team? They've really turned it on the last year.
They have, and I think it's a lot of young kids that are finally older, juniors and seniors. You know, as that maturing process happens from when they're young bucks to now, you know, becoming upperclassmen, I think that you're starting to see that product on the field. I think tonight I see him over there, number 5. He's not dressed out, Amir Morrison, so. That will, I'm sure, for Coach Buddy and his defense is a great sight to see. But, yeah, they have played really well. A couple games recently, some, you know, tough times here or there. But, yeah, they're huge up front. So, yeah, that's great.
And just to touch on Amir a little bit, you know, obviously this is Chiefs TV. So we tend to lean a little bit more towards the Sequoia side of things. But talking about Cherokee County is to get opportunities beyond high school to play ball at the next level. Yeah. So I really hate that he's not been able to play the last couple of games. But hopefully we'll see him back on the field soon, and he can close out the season in tremendous fashion because he has had an absolutely stellar career over there at River Ridge. You know, last year was kind of that coming out party. And what do you see as him developing as a player from the time he started till now?
Yeah, I think you see a lot. Actually, I had a chance to teach him as a sophomore, and he's a good kid in the classroom as well, and I think it kind of starts there. But his explosiveness, for what he lacks in size, and I always kid with him that he's like a short little kid, but he is quick, and not only is he quick, he has that speed where if he gets an open field, that it's pretty hard to catch him.
Well, you know, being short doesn't necessarily diminish anymore. You think about the running back of the Atlanta Falcons, Mike Davis, he's only 5'9". So as long as you've got that can-do attitude and that work ethic and, you know, you're willing to put in that time in the weight room and that time in the film room, anybody can be anything. Especially we saw last night in the Browns game.
That's
Turnage
right.
Johnson was basically sending out messages asking for a job 2 years ago. He got into the alliance, and then now all of a sudden he was had the highest rated game as a running back in the NFL, and he basically saved the Browns' season. Go Browns! But I mean, it just goes to show that size isn't everything. It's a big part of it,
Right.
but it's not everything. And speaking of that, you said this offensive line for River Ridge was massive.
Yeah.
And that's probably a big part of what's attributing to his success.
Correct.
You know, you see a good offensive line, like we talked about the Thursday night game last night. A lot of people after that game were saying, invest in your offensive line coach and your strength coach, and everything else will work itself out.
Right. Yep, absolutely. Yeah, so I think they've got some size, and like I said, when they're juniors and seniors, I think they're older on the offensive line. Maybe a couple sophomores. But yeah, as that size builds, and you're able, if you're a running back, not to get touched, from 1, 2, 3 yards on the opponent's side of the line, yeah, that makes all the difference.
If you've got that athleticism, you're going to blow it open.
Absolutely.
One more thing I wanted to touch on real quick. Looking out over towards our right-hand side as we've got Coach Ray Face Memorial Fieldhouse.
Right.
I talked to E-Rob about this last week. Everybody who played for Coach Face has a fantastic Coach Face story. Go ahead and hit on that for us a little bit, because I know you were one of his favorites.
Yeah, I don't know about favorites. That if he was yelling at you, I think that it was considered maybe a favorite.
Well, then he favored you a lot.
Yeah, right. So a sophomore year, I got my first varsity action at Cherokee, and I remember I was on the opposite side of the field, had to run the full distance, and at halftime I got chewed out for not being in the game. And then at practice, I was calling the defense or whatever, and there's just a lot of pressure. And that guy, and it's crazy to think now. I can remember walking in the team room right now. I could envision his attention to detail, and he did it without the huddle and all that kind of stuff that kind of does the stats for you. I mean, the amount of hours that guy watched film was ridiculous. But what a great guy, what a great coach, and really, I definitely was not as good as I was because I had him my sophomore and junior year.
Yeah, he really leaned on you pretty hard, but at the end of the day, it made you a better football player, which is why I think it's a great thing that they renamed the field house after him, because he was a fighter even when he was sick. He was still out there at practice and yelling at everybody. He might not have needed a little help from that cane from time to time, but
you were kind of scared of the cane that might hit you. Yeah.
that was a new device he could use to motivate you. Absolutely. Yeah. But I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask you for a prediction, but give me kind of a rundown of what you think is going to happen.
Well, as you have mentioned, even in the coaching change from Coach Maxwell to Coach Teeter, you still see the same style of offense. I know senior year for us with Swoop, we kind of changed some things just because of the nature of who he was. We got in the shotgun and got all fancy, but at the end of the day, it was still the wing T. So saying that, I think if Sequoia can control the ball, which if you're a wing T offense you want to do, it would give River Ridge some potential trouble. But if River Ridge, they have the ability, the quarterback, Carson Latham, I love. He's a great competitor, just a great kid. And the tight end, Head, I love Jackson.
Yep.
I taught him last year. He is a stud. So I think if maybe Sequoia can eliminate the big play, I think that, with Coach Buddy's defense, I think they'll try to do that. And I guess conversely, if Sequoia can keep the River Ridge offense off the field, even without Amir in that big offensive line, so it should come into a good game, and as a rivalry game, as you want to call it. It's always kind of expecting, unexpected, maybe a fake punt here or there, fake field, just something to kind of flip momentum.
Something to keep it.
Correct. Especially early, maybe just to try to keep the home crowd in it, or for River Ridge trying to silence the home crowd.
Well, Chattahoochee onside kicked on the opening kickoff last week and recovered it. So,
oh, wow.
I think Sequoia, I think the jig might be up on that one. But,
right. So, that's something that is when you're an extreme underdog, which River Ridge is not. But, yeah, when you're Chattahoochee and you have nothing to lose, that is exactly what you do.
Well, and it's a really good thing, too. Region 7 6A is so loaded this year. It's very solid this year. 3 through 7 is still up for grabs.
Right.
I mean, all those teams are within a game or two of each other. With 3 games to go, we saw Sequoia last year go on a really big run. I mean, they won 4 of their last 5 games. Ultimately, they ended up losing to River Ridge, but River Ridge had, the year of a the year of a lifetime last year. But it's really good to see when all of these Cherokee County programs are playing extremely well.
Right.
You think about Creekview, you think about River Ridge. Sequoia's had its moments. They're kind of getting back to where they were, and it's really good to see all these teams doing so well and playing so close together. That Cherokee game, between Cherokee and Sequoia earlier in the year.
I was actually here for it.
Was one of the games.
I was in the opposite end zone, so I didn't get a good look as good as y'all did. It was kind of the jury's still out, I think.
I don't think the jury's out, but it doesn't matter at this point anymore.
Yeah, it's a moot point, right?
That one's going to go down in Cherokee County lore, and we're going to talk about that one for quite some time. I got an explanation. I wasn't buying it. I was like, well, you'd have a better time convincing me that he just didn't get there.
Right.
And anyway, that's a moot point. And shout out to our officials. Look, we understand this is not your day job.
It's a tough job.
It is a very hard job, and Matthew Trainer's a very tall kid. So you've got the fingertips to the toes of Matthew Trainer to figure out if he touches before he crosses the plane of the end zone, and you've got to do it with everybody standing right with your back to the student section of the team that's trying to win the game, and you're right there, and you just got done being like an investment banker or something for the day.
Correct.
So we get that, but at the same time, it was a really crushing blow because Sequoia was really looking forward to that one. But Ben, we really appreciate you coming on. It's great to see that guys are still contributing to Cherokee County sports, and it's actually good to see you again.
Yeah,
you and I hadn't seen each other in probably, 13 years?
Exactly.
So hopefully we'll see you around basketball season this year as well.
Yep.
And appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks, Chase. I really appreciate it.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a short break. Here in about 35 minutes, we'll come back for your inter-county matchup and inter-region matchup between the Sequoia Chiefs and the River Ridge Knights. A big one on the line tonight as both teams clawing their way to a playoff spot in this do-or-die situation here from Skip Pope Stadium. I'm Chase Shaffer, and we'll be back after a short break.
Yeah, since do fan video. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, now coming in the Sequoia marching band of Chiefs.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Skip Popp Memorial Stadium here in Canton, Georgia. A big region matchup tonight as the Sequoia Chiefs welcome in their cross-county rival, the River Ridge Knights, in a big Region 7 6A matchup. Guys, a big one on tap here tonight. Sequoia is in a must-win situation.
That's exactly right, Chase. If they do want to get to the playoffs, which is something that we've been talking about a lot these last couple games, they are going to have to, the best option for them is going to be to win out against River Ridge, Riverwood next week, and then Centennial the following week. That's going to be their #1 path to the playoffs this year.
And that's going to be a tall ask, as River Ridge and Riverwood, both capable teams. We played Riverwood last year and beat them, but it seems like they're a completely different team this year, as they're the 3rd spot as it stands right now in the standings.
Yeah, most definitely. Riverwood is one of 2 River Ridge losses this season. So River Ridge having a good year, not as great of a year as they did last year. They were the top team to beat last year, but it seems like Riverwood, has taken that spot a little bit away from them this year.
River Ridge getting behind their own banner as the Chiefs start to make their way out onto the field. Just about 3 minutes until game time here, guys. Let's go ahead and give a season recap of these Sequoia Chiefs.
Yeah, especially oh my gosh. They 3-4 in the season so far. Not a great game last game against Chattahoochee, 44-7. Great performance on the run game and Jackson Hancock through the air. I'm excited to see what they can do this game too.
That's right. They opened the season shutting out Woodstock at Woodstock 28-0, and had some unfortunate losses to Johns Creek and Cherokee, losing by 1 point against Cherokee, and then I believe there was a couple touchdowns against Johns Creek. So they've had some close games, some things that have not gone their way, similar to last year, but they've been able to overcome it, and hopefully, like last year, they'll be able to go down the stretch and win out. And they were 2-4 last week, excuse me, and then they were able to get the win last week, and then improved to 1-3 in the region.
And like you said, improving to 1-3 in the region, that was their first region win. Johns Creek, Creekview, and Cambridge were their first 3 region games. That's a tough ask, as Johns Creek and Cambridge are sitting 1-2 in the standings right now, and I think Creekview is nestled at 4th. So 3 very competent and capable teams that they had to start region play with. Got a crack at Chattahoochee last week. Were able to put a lot of points on the board. The Johns Creek game, I know the score at the end of it didn't really do it justice as to how close that game really was, but Sequoia was in that until into the 4th quarter. I mean, they didn't get the game broken open up on them until the last half of the game, or the last portion of the game. They were behind by 7, and it looked like they were poised to make a comeback. The only problem is Jacob Thompson ran the ensuing kickoff all the way back untouched for a touchdown, and that was ultimately, the straw that broke the camel's back. As the coin toss is going on right in front of us now, it looks like Sequoia going to go ahead and receive the first half kickoff. So we saw this last week, guys. Chattahoochee got a little tricky on us and kicked the onside kick in the opening kickoff, and ultimately got possession back. So let's see if the boys are a little bit more ready for that this time. Coach Ferris, who I talked with in the pregame show, said, maybe be ready for something like that, maybe some trickery and what should be a very closely contested Region 7 6A and cross-county matchup.
That's exactly right, and that's another thing that we saw last week was both teams, Chattahoochee and Sequoia, mixing it up a little bit, as you said, with the Chattahoochee onside kick to start off the game, as well as they had a fake punt later in the game, and then Sequoia was changing it up a bit as well, trying the passing game out a lot more than they usually do, and it worked out well for them. So I think that will be something that they will also be testing the waters here against this River Ridge team to start this first quarter, and seeing how that plays out against them, and maybe using it more if it does work.
So a cool night here at Skip Popp Stadium as the River Ridge Knights burst through their banner. We're still waiting on the Chiefs, and here they come through their banner as the band plays in the background. Skip Popp Memorial Stadium, your site of a huge Region 7 6A matchup tonight between the Sequoia Chiefs and the River Ridge Knights. Guys, this cross-county rivalry has been pretty lopsided. Sequoia took the first 8 games in the series, but let's not discount the year that River Ridge had last year, as they made it all the way to the state quarterfinals on the back of a massive offensive line and a huge running game.
Yeah, don't think this year is going to be any easier for the Chiefs. River is sitting at 5-2. It's going to be a tough night for the Chiefs, but if they get something going on defense, I think they definitely have a chance.
Yeah, and keep in mind that River Ridge won their first 5 games of the season, so they started off to quite a hot streak, and then lost 2, and then won again last week. So they were on a little bit of a hot streak this season. They cooled off a little bit.
two of the big staples of this team, the junior trainer and on the return starts the Chiefs off in excellent field position, as we'll get a first look at the Chiefs offense. Sequoia coming out sporting the gray tops with yellow numbers and black pants. River Ridge coming out in all white with the blue helmets. And it looks like silver numbers. That one's going to be a tough one to call up here in the booth on our end, but we'll do the best we can. Here comes the offense, as Trainer leads the Chiefs onto the field. Ball on the far hash mark. And motion starts this one off as Lucas going to run up the middle. No, Trainer's going to hold on to it. He bounces to the outside, and a good run to start the game for the Sequoia Chiefs. And that looks like it'll bring up 2nd and 3.
Jake Ruth by the Knights tackling Trainer there.
Jake Ruth, a big player on that River Ridge defense. He's got a handful of tackles for loss this year. So ball on the near hash now on the 39-yard line. Got to get to the 42. Trainer settles in under center. Wingback comes to the near side of the field. Hand off to Lucas. Lucas going to go to the outside. He's got a little bit of room. He'll pick up the first down, and he will trip and fall and pick up an extra 5. And that is good enough for a first down for Sequoia. So Sequoia's offense seems to be doing pretty good here on this opening drive of the contest.
Yeah, if they want to get the offensive production going, they're definitely going to need to get some consistent handoffs from Lucas and play scores.
And this one's going to come back as we've got a holding against the Chiefs. So a 2nd and 3 now turns into a 2nd and 13. And that's not what you want to see if you're a Sequoia Chiefs fan. So 2nd and 13 after what looked to be a first down for Sequoia. Traditional wing T formation. And another handoff to Lucas, who is immediately swallowed up in the backfield. No, Trainer again with an excellent play fake, and he will pick up 3 and get back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd down and 10 coming up for the Chiefs.
And Chase, going back to last game, another thing that worked really well for Sequoia last game was that triple threat of Hancock, Lucas, and Pie scores. They went to them multiple times, and all 3 were able to get successful 10 to 15-yard runs multiple times in the game, and that really helped them able to get down the field really fast, and that'll be something that they might even use here tonight.
So opening drive of the game is looking like it may stall out if the Chiefs can't convert on 3rd and 10. 10:25 left to go in the opening round of this Region 7 6A tilt. Shotgun formation by the Chiefs. Trainer drops back, rolls out. Got a receiver, and that one's going to go right through the hands of Ashton Hunt.
Crucial holding penalty to stall out the Chiefs' drive right there.
So we'll see the punt unit come out for Sequoia, as what appeared to be a very promising opening drive sputters out right where they got the ball back. Good snap on the punt. Trainer going to get a low kick on this one. It's going to bounce a couple of times and get a friendly bounce for Sequoia, as that one's going to be covered up right at the 30-yard line. They're going to say one of the River Ridge players touched it. No, they're not. Sequoia seems to think it might have bounced off of one of the Knights. Referees disagree, so we'll get our first look at that River Ridge offense. Would have been a huge play for Sequoia if they had recovered. Now we got a little bit of a conversation going on here, and let's see what the call is.
This would be a huge call if it was overturned.
Hancock and Trainer back again to receive. Good punt. Trainer going to settle under that one, and he's got a little bit of room up the middle and finally going to be dragged down at the 40-yard line Don't see any laundry back in the backfield, so it looks like Sequoia going to once again start with excellent field position.
He was taken down by the big D lineman, Brian Bradley.
Chiefs will take over from there.
Brian Bradley, a massive human being, 6'3", 235 pounds. I mean, that's a grown man right there.
Yeah, 10 TFLs per game this year is phenomenal. It's amazing.
From what I understand, he's got a couple of college offers as well.
Yeah, star player on the D line for the Knights.
So Sequoia going to take another crack at it. Let's see how they do. They've got that I formation coming out. We've seen that earlier in the season. Handoff up the middle and a lot of room. A big hit as Jack Pye scores, rumbles ahead for 6 yards. And that will bring up 2nd and 4 for the Chiefs. So Pye scores, laying a big pop on the defender as he gets close to midfield, and the ball is going to be on the 45-yard line.
And Chase and Max, as you guys were saying before this, Sequoia is not really strangers to facing those big guys on the defensive line. They faced a huge Chattahoochee line last week, as well as a big line against Johns Creek as well.
Handoff again, going to go up the middle, and maybe getting 2 yards on that one is going to be Jackson Hancock. So 3rd and 1, maybe 3rd and 2 coming up. 3rd and 1 now for Sequoia. Let's see if they can move the sticks again. Last drive was undone by a huge holding penalty that the Sequoia Chiefs were never able to recover from. 7:48 left to go in the opening period of play. Sequoia going to go with that I formation again. Got to get to the 49-yard line. Handoff up the middle. There's a lot of room. That's the first down and then some. And taken down after a huge gain is going to be Cruz Wright. So Cruz Wright carries the ball across the sticks and across midfield. A big pickup as Sequoia going to start at the 38-yard line of River Ridge. Now we go back to that wing tee. One wing back and one fullback. One of the River Ridge players is going to jump. And let's see who they get. Yep, and that's going to be encroachment on River Ridge. So another big play for Sequoia as they are able to draw the Knights offside. And that will make it 1st and 5 from the 47-yard line.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of penalties early in this game. Really affected the drive so far.
Last-minute substitution by the Knights. Going to have to go ahead and hurry off the field. Once again, the I formation for the Chiefs are going to hand this one off to Pye scores. He's going to try to find some room outside. He's got it. He's got the first down and then some. Heading to the sideline and taken out of bounds. Big run by Jack Pye scores, and Sequoia is now in River Ridge's end zone.
And those are those big runs that I was talking about that you can always count on Pye scores, Lucas, and Hancock for.
7 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Sequoia in the shadow of their own scoreboard looking to do some damage.
Yeah, they're going to need that rush game to get going. Pye scores and Lucas combined for about 123 yards per game on the ground. If they keep that up, they have a real threat of winning this game.
Pye scores, checks out of the game. Trainer under center, going to take this one and hand it off up the middle, and maybe 2 or 3 yards as Jackson Hancock had his jersey pulled. And a good stop there by the River Ridge defense.
And Max, going back to something that you were saying with the 3 penalties already in this game, penalties have had sort of a mixed relationship with the Chiefs so far. We've had some games where they've really, really hurt the Chiefs and defensively and offensively, but we've also had some games like last week against Chattahoochee where Chattahoochee was the one who had a lot of penalties, and that in that case helped the Chiefs. So it'll be interesting to see how that will play out for the Chiefs this game.
So we've got a timeout called on the field. So Sequoia wants to talk about it for a minute. And guys, while we've got a moment, let's go ahead and thank our sponsors here. Will, take it away.
Alrighty, first off, we have Pride Electric. Longtime supporters and past Chiefs football alumni at Pride Electric. They're proud to remain part of the Sequoia family of Chiefs. Next, we have All About Health in Woodstock on Highway 92 in the Publix Plaza. Since 1998, All About Health has been providing knowledgeable service that makes a difference. From vitamins and minerals, herbs to supplements, their extensive inventory fulfills all of our health goals. Find out what separates them from the competition and stop by today. Next, we have Property Masters, who have been proudly servicing the Southeast since 1996. Property Masters' team of experts provides the broadest range of landscape services to make our home's outdoor spaces beautiful and functional. Back to you, Chase.
So Sequoia staring down a 2nd and 9, but the ball's spotted on the 18-yard line of River Ridge. So Sequoia, their first trip into the Knights' red zone tonight. Trainer fakes the handoff, rolls out. He's got a man in the end zone, a little bit of hand fighting, and no flag at the end of that. I don't know how, because there was a lot of shoving going on there.
Intended receiver number 80, Ty Moore's on that one.
As Ty Moore's was shoved in the chest before he even had a chance to get the ball to him, and they're going to call that one an incomplete pass, so 3rd and 9 coming up for the Chiefs.
Coverage by the star DB, Andrew Hand for the Knights. But that was a questionable play.
Hand appropriately named as he had his hands all over Moore's. But anyway, we'll go back to 3rd and 9 now for the Chiefs. Let's see what they do here. Trainer going to keep it himself, try to run up the middle. He's got a little bit of room, and he's going to come up just short of the line to gain. Big decision coming up here for the Sequoia Chiefs as Trainer makes it down to the 11, and that'll bring up 4th and 2 for Sequoia.
Yeah, let's see what Coach Teeter does here early in the game. Could be a statement play or could be a big momentum shifter.
Trainer coming off the field, so the field goal unit going to try and go ahead and put some points on the board for Sequoia. Ball spotted on the 11-yard line. That makes this a 28-yard field goal. Nope, Trainer back out on the field. I thought I saw him trotting off, so Sequoia going to go for it on 4th and 2. Big down coming up. Sequoia on the 11-yard line. Trainer going to look to the sideline to take the play. Reads the defense, calls out the audible. 10 seconds left to go on the play clock. And we're going to get a timeout as that was not 10 seconds, but it was 5 seconds as Sequoia took too long to get it together. So let's see if that was just a fake, or let's see if this offense comes back out onto the field.
Yeah, I think they might have just been trying to get the Knights to jump off sides, but good discipline by the O-line, maybe by the D-line.
So Sequoia already burned 2 of its timeouts here in the first half. 5:31 left to go in the first quarter. Guys, Sequoia seems to be doing an excellent job of moving the football. I liked the play call on 2nd down, but for some reason they just didn't get the call in the end zone.
That's exactly right. But keep in mind, Chase, field goals have not been Sequoia's strength so far. We saw yet last week against Chattahoochee, they missed 2 field goals. They did go perfect on extra points, but field goals have not been their strength so far. So it's interesting to see Coach Teeter here go with going for it on 4th down, as field goals haven't been their bread and butter so far.
Well, we also know that Sequoia has done an excellent job on 4th down this year. We saw that a lot, especially early in the season. Sequoia on 4th and 2, 4th and 3 was able to get out there and convert on some 4th down. So let's see if they can do it here again. Sequoia showing that power I formation. River Ridge going to go ahead and load the box. 5:31 left to go in the first quarter. Already a crucial play coming up. Snap taken. Hand off to Pie Scores. Pie Scores going to get wrapped up in the backfield, and River Ridge's defense is going to hold. So River Ridge sniffs that one out, and it's going to be a turnover on downs with 5:27 left to go in the first quarter.
That was a huge, huge tackle on Pie Scores by Jackson Head of the Knights.
So River Ridge in their worst field position of the evening. Going to have to work out of their own 11-yard line. Sequoia's defense was able to stop them last time. Let's see if they can do it again.
We talked last game a lot about Avery Bourne on the defense. I'm excited to see what he can do this game against the Knights.
3 wide receivers set for the Knights. 1 running back next to Latham. Latham takes the snap, going to hand this one off up the middle, and that one going to be stopped almost immediately. Maybe picks up 2 yards on the carry as the pile is pushing backwards, and they'll finally blow the whistle. So a short gain on the first run of the series for River Ridge.
And Chase, again, going back to the Chattahoochee game last week, Sequoia's defense was probably, I think, the most improved part of the Sequoia team thus far. They performed very, very well. They had interception and a fumble recovery, I believe. And Brady Curl, Avery Bourne were some names that we were calling, and they were doing a very, very good job against the Chattahoochee offense last week.
So Carter on the carry. River Ridge fans, if you're watching at home, stick with us. These silver numbers are a little hard for us to see from up here, but we will try to do our best to call them out for you. 1st down and 10 for River Ridge. Direct snap to the running back and a lot of room up the middle, and that's a 6 or 7 yard pickup for the running back.
Yeah, that was Daniel Finchner again. He's listed as an athlete, a very dual threat quarterback on the whole side of the ball in the offense.
So 2nd and 3 coming up. Guys, it's going to be the long night for the Chiefs if they keep giving up 5, 6, 7 yards on the first play of the series. Going to have to start holding those guys to what they did in the early portion of the game. those 1-2 yard gains. Shotgun formation again. 2 wide receivers apiece. Handoff up the middle, fakes the pass, and that one is going to be run up the middle by Carter again, and he picks up 4, and that'll move the sticks.
Yeah, the Chiefs just didn't really tackle there. They kind of pushed him to the ground, and he rolled 4 for about 3 more yards.
River Ridge on the Sequoia Chiefs side of the field now. Ball marked on the 46-yard line. As the Knights offense starting to open up. Trips to the near side of the field. 1 wide receiver on the far side. Latham standing on the 49-yard line. Sends the running back in motion. Throws it out to him in the flat. And a lot of real estate along the sideline. And he's headed for the end zone. No, he's going to be tackled out of bounds. The touchdown saving tackle
Brenton Darling sprinting
by
after
Brenton Darling. So another big play that Sequoia is going to get gashed for. And River Ridge knocking on the door of the red zone.
I think there's been 1 completion tonight by Latham to Jackson Head.
Got a little bit of an officiating conference going on. And now we should be coming back. Guys, this Knights offense is really starting to find its stride, and that could be dangerous if Sequoia doesn't make adjustments and start putting the kibosh on it.
Yeah, and that run from Finchner reminded me a lot of the Chattahoochee quarterback's run last week, where he went up the same side, got a similar number of yards, and that can be dangerous for Sequoia if they're not able to bottleneck those edges, because, I mean, he almost got away. If it wasn't for Brenton Darling on that tackle, he would have been in the end zone easily.
So it looks like we've got a little bit of a timeout here at the moment.
I actually didn't see Jackson Head on the field at all. I don't know if he's injured.
He's out there. I've seen him on a previous play. So 1:52 left to go in the first quarter. Still 0-0. Ball spotted on the 24-yard line. A little bit of a timeout going on right now. But, guys, Sequoia starting to get gashed big time on some of these plays. It looks like if River Ridge is able to get to the outside, they're going to get a lot of yards. You know, early on in the game, Sequoia was doing a good job of containing everything up the middle, and River Ridge was having a hard time running the ball between the guards. And now it looks like that they found out they can get the outside. They're gashing the Sequoia defense for some big yards.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think another thing that's hurting him, like you were saying, is those little 5 to 6 yard penalties that, I mean, aren't as big of a deal when you just break them down one by one, but they can really start to add up. And that's, I mean, we've had a couple of them already on this drive, so that's been a big factor in River Ridge getting down the field as well this drive.
So it looks like a counter timeout's been taken. We'll go ahead and take it away with some sponsor reads real quick, bud.
Most definitely. All right, we have Ready Mix USA. Ready Mix USA is a proud sponsor of the Sequoia Chiefs community. As a supplier of industry-leading products and solutions to satisfy the construction needs of our community, Ready Mix USA is honored to help build a better future for Cherokee County and the greater Atlanta area. Next, we have Pride Electric. Longtime supporters and past Chiefs football alumni at Pride Electric, they're proud to remain a part of the Sequoia family of Chiefs.
So, you know, guys, obviously we don't see Morrison out there, and that's a big loss for this River Ridge team, but it looks like their running game is doing pretty well without him at the moment.
Yeah, the combination of Finchner and Carter, the Chiefs haven't really been able to stop on the second drive.
So we'll see if Sequoia's defense can tighten up a little bit in the shadow of their own goalposts. Sequoia got the ball to start the game, so River Ridge going to get it in the second half. Neither team able to break through, but it looks like River Ridge is putting together a drive that they can score on, and we're still waiting for something. I have no idea what we're waiting on. It's 1st and 10, and it's been 1st and 10 for about the last 10 minutes. And now we get the whistle to go ahead and go back to playing. Latham in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff, drops back, man open downfield, and that one is going to be overthrown by a good bit.
Intended for Grant Hollier on the throw.
Bring up second down for River Ridge.
So Grant Hollier, the intended receiver, Ben Sanders, the defender. And that'll bring up 2nd and 10 as River Ridge taking a shot on 1st down. So ball will come back to the near hash. Still on the 24-yard line. Latham in the backfield, running back to his right. 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near side. Tight end in the game, that's Head. And Head's going to be the lead blocker on this toss play. And a pickup of about 4, and that'll bring up 3rd and 5 or 6 for the River Ridge Knights.
Yeah, Tyler Carter just keeps on getting these 5-6 yard runs that they keep on adding up.
Looks like he got about 3 on that one. So 3rd and 6 coming up. A big opportunity for Sequoia to stop the River Ridge Knights here. 4 wide receivers. 1 running back to the left of Latham. And Sequoia gonna jump off sides. Good night. As Sequoia bites on the hard count, and that's gonna make it 3rd and 1. So another penalty that's gonna cost Sequoia, and that'll bring up 3rd and 1, and that opens up a whole world of possibilities for River Ridge to get 1 yard.
Yeah, we've seen a whole truck of penalties come in the first quarter alone.
Let's get loud, Chief fans.
So a big chance to stop the Knights, who are now inside the red zone after that penalty. Snap taken by Latham. He's going to hand it off up the middle, and there's the first down for the River Ridge Knights. So a play that probably wouldn't have picked up the first down if Sequoia hadn't jumped off sides turns into a new set of downs inside their own 10-yard line. Correction, ball spotted on the 10.
Tyler Carter with another run.
And Chase, that's just a perfect example of those little penalties adding up to a big amount. As, like you said, with that little run, they probably wouldn't have been able to get the first down. But with that penalty, that gave them the boost, just the boost they needed to get past that first down marker.
So first quarter coming to a close, 30 seconds left to go. Let's see if River Ridge can get another one off. They're going to have to. 10 seconds left on the play clock. Latham running back behind him. Latham sends Head in motion. Head gets set. Now he's going to hand this one back off to Carter, and Carter going to be swallowed up and maybe picked up 3 or 4 yards. So that'll do it for the first quarter. Your score here from Skip Pope Memorial Stadium, 0-0. As we come back in the second quarter, we'll flip the field. Sequoia reeling as they've got River Ridge knocking on the door of the end zone.
Yeah, that defense hasn't been able to tackle, especially on the second drive. It's been kind of sloppy right now for the Chiefs.
Well, that encroachment penalty on 3rd and 6 was huge. I mean, Sequoia probably could have held them on that play, but a 3rd and 1, you can literally almost do anything and get a yard. So that was huge for the Chiefs, and it looks like this River Ridge offense is really starting to find its stride.
Yeah, most definitely, whether it's down the edges or, I mean, hey, even waiting for Sequoia to commit a penalty, that's just those things that Sequoia needs to cut out. I mean, they can't be affording to get those small penalties because they know they can stop the River Ridge, and they could have right there, but that penalty just set River Ridge over the edge and gave them just what they needed.
So we're going to go ahead and flip the field. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention that it is Military and First Responder Appreciation Night here at Skip Pope Stadium. So if there are any military or public servants watching at home, we appreciate everything you've done for our community. Stay safe, and may you have long and happy lives full of peace. We appreciate everything that you have done for this community, and we wanted to take this opportunity here tonight at Skip Pope Stadium to just say thank you to y'all. So stick around for the halftime festivities. We're going to honor some of the people who are here in attendance tonight as they make their way down to the field before the band plays. But we want to thank all of you from the bottom of our hearts. So we're getting ready to come back out to the second quarter now as River Ridge has the ball on the 9-yard line. And Sequoia going to have to dig deep and make a stop here. The line to gain is the 1-yard line. So they can still get a fresh set of downs if they just make it to the 1. Latham in the shotgun. Head motions across to the far side of the field to Latham's left. Latham going to toss this one to Carter, and Carter picks up a full head of steam, and he's going to be dropped after a pickup of 4, so he'll be stopped at the 6-yard line. So that'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Almost an identical situation to what we saw last time. And, I mean, again, the Chiefs' penalty is not something they can afford, or really a gain of any yards by the River Ridge, because, I mean, it is still scoreless, and that's something that they definitely want to do, knowing that their offense is able to get down the field and score if they need it. Or when they need it, excuse me.
So a huge down coming up for Sequoia. To force a field goal attempt would be huge. River Ridge wants to go ahead and start taking some of the momentum early, as they have bled a lot of clock here off on this drive.
Yeah, they just can't have those penalties anymore.
Motion across the near side. Latham going to roll out. He's being pursued. He throws this one into the end zone. No good, as that would have been a spectacular catch by Jackson Head. He almost OBJ'd that one in the end zone, But that one's going to fall harmlessly to the turf, and that'll bring up 4th and 5.
I thought that was about to be a catch of a generation right there. He had one arm out, almost brought it in, but Matthew Trainer got lucky on that one.
If Jackson Head would have hauled that in, that would have been an incredible play.
Certainly a highlight reel play right there.
From a player who already has a litany of highlights. I mean, Jackson Head is a phenomenal tight end. And, I talked to Coach Ferris at the beginning of the game, and he said that Jackson is an absolute stud. And we're seeing it here tonight with, you hate to say for an almost catch, but that was a very athletic play. Field goal attempt now for River Ridge. Hold is good, and that one's going to go up and through the upright. So River Ridge strikes first, 11 minutes and 3 seconds left to go in the first half as the Knights jump out to a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, so the Chiefs had the opportunity to go for a field goal early, but Coach Teeter decided not to go for it and go for it on 4th, and you saw how that worked out. But then Coach Collins for the Knights decides to go for a field goal, and that gives them the lead. Crucial decisions here early in the game.
And Max, I think that was a great choice by Teeter to go for it on 4th down because, looking at the earlier in the season, they've been a lot better at going for it on 4th down, believe it or not, than making field goals. Not something they usually see in a football team, but that's just been the story of the season for the Chiefs so far.
So we'll see if Sequoia can maintain that momentum from their last offensive possession. They were able to move the ball and get into scoring position, but ultimately that drive sputtered out. They had a 4th and 2. We have seen Sequoia get 4th and 2 conversions all year long. They were unable to make it happen, and ultimately they're down 3-0 because of it, but keeping River Ridge out of the end zone has got to be a huge momentum builder for the Sequoia defense.
Yeah, definitely. That was a very big stop for them.
So Trainer and Hancock back to receive the kickoff. A high kick once again. Trainer's going to watch it bounce. Takes a funny bounce. He picks that one up. No, that's Hancock. Hancock going to try and go to the outside. He's got a lot of room. He's going to cut back inside and finally go down at the 29-yard line. So Sequoia.
For the Chiefs, a big decision for Coach Teeter again.
Doesn't look like it's a decision at all. The offense is going to stay on as it is 4th and inches. Looks like Sequoia can almost trip and fall and pick up this 4th down. Let's see what they draw up here. Got to think it's going to be like a quarterback keeper to Trainer, and he does, and he gets across the line for a first down. Well beyond, and that will move the sticks. Don't see any laundry on the field, so ball going to be spotted at the 45-yard line, and Sequoia 1 for 2 on 4th down conversions tonight.
I think that was a big 4th down conversion for the Chiefs. Finally getting past the 50, they needed something to keep their drive going.
I don't think that one was ever really a question. I think Coach really trusts Matthew in those 4th and short situations. So 1st and 10 for the Chiefs. Ball on the River Ridge 45-yard line. Sequoia going to a little bit of a different formation here. Hand off to Pie Scores. Pie Scores going to try and wiggle through. He might have picked up 3, maybe 2. So Pie Scores tried that little jump cut there for a second. It didn't really work, but they picked up about 2 yards. So that'll bring up 2nd and 8. So 2nd and 8 for the Chiefs. Let's see what they draw up. One wide receiver to the far side, to the near side of the field. Looks like Moores. Trainer takes the snap. He's going to roll out. He's got a receiver in the flat. That's Hancock. Hancock's got a lot of room. He's at the 20. A big lick, and he's going to be taken down at the 17-yard line. So Trainer lowers the shoulder and picks up another 3 yards after contact. And Sequoia now inside River Ridge's red zone.
Yeah, tackled by Jake Ruth there after the huge gain by Jackson Hancock.
And there's that classic crossbody motion throw that we see from Jackson Hancock, and he's able to pick up a very big run and hopefully create some very big momentum as well for these Chiefs.
Great job there by Trainer on that throw as Hancock with the big yards after catch. And even playing a little physical there. Handoff now going to go to Lucas. No, Trainer keeps it. He's going to try and get to the outside, a stiff arm move, but he's still going to pick up 7. You know, guys, this happens to me a lot during these broadcasts, but Matthew Trainer does an exceptional job with those ball fakes.
I was just going to say, I think Peyton Lucas and Matthew Trainer have kind of perfected that fake out. It's faked us out multiple times. Not the first time tonight, and we did that multiple times during the Chattahoochee game as well.
Oh, it gets me a half a dozen times a game. I mean, it gets me at least 6 or 7 times a game where he will fake that handoff and take it himself, and it is like magic. So 2nd and 6 coming up now for Sequoia. Trainer under center, motion to the near side of the field. And I think he handed it off this time to Lucas, and Lucas is going to be tackled after a gain of about 3.
Tackled by Hunter Coleman right there. Yeah, as Lucas and Trainer are like magicians on the field and never know where the ball is going to be.
And every time it seems to fool the opposing defense as well. I mean, Trainer's able to pick up 3 or 4 yards there as well. So
well, on that last play, I think it fooled Lucas as well because it looked for a second like he thought he had fumbled the ball. Trainer had it in his gut, and then at the very last second, he read the play and pulled it back out. So 3rd and looks like 4 coming up now for Sequoia. Pie score is going to go in motion. Trainer going to keep it himself this time, and he gets close. I don't know if he got it. Let's see where the spot is. Man, he got so close if he didn't get it. So he's going to be spotted a yard short. And that brings up another crucial 4th down for the Sequoia Chiefs team.
As you said earlier on that earlier 4th down, this drive, you said it was no decision for Coach Teeter. Doesn't seem like it's one for this time.
And they're going to do it again, but Trainer snapped it too soon, and they're going to say the whole line wasn't set. And that's really going to throw a wrench in things, as that'll move them back 5 yards. Trainer did not wait for his offensive line to get set.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
I think that changes Coach Teeter's decision making.
Yep, so it looks like Coach Teeter going to go with the points now after the false start penalty. So penalties are the name of the game here for the Sequoia Chiefs as they cannot get out of their own way. 6:07 left to go until halftime. A tight one here as we've got a baseball score. River Ridge on top, 3-0. So from the 13-yard line, that's a 30-yard field goal. Very makeable distance, and that one's going to be blocked again. So another blocked field goal for the Sequoia Chiefs, and that is the story of the season, as that offensive line on kicks just cannot hold up to anything.
special teams continuing to suffer for these Chiefs. I mean, it's a story that we've been narrating the entire season. It just, not much has gone right for them, unfortunately.
I mean, I don't get it, guys. It's like every time we go to kick a field goal, the interior of that line just collapses.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no explanation for that.
Just like Peyton Lucas and Matthew Trainer are magicians on hiding the ball, seems like the O-line is magicians at disappearing on field goal attempts.
So Sequoia squanders another opportunity, and that'll keep the River Ridge Knights on top 3-0 with 5:53 left to go in the first half. Guys, it's worth noting Sequoia's never been shut out in this matchup. Nice jet sweep there, and that one's going to be sniffed out after a gain of 3.
Jackson Hancock with a big tackle around the line of scrimmage.
I think he got a hold of Fincher there.
Sideline warning. Sequoia. That's the warning of the ball game.
So Sequoia gets a sideline warning as well. And that'll bring up 2nd and 7 for River Ridge. 5:46 left to go in the first half. River Ridge on top of Sequoia 3-0. Guys, in the 9 times these teams have played, Sequoia's never been shut out. They're going to have to find an answer here at some point. River Ridge with a chance to go up 2 scores. Nice throw there. Oh, what a big hit in the open field. An absolute pasting.
Yeah, Fincher with a good catch getting up there.
By Jackson Hancock.
That's 2 huge tackles in a row by Hancock right there. Wow.
But what a job by Fincher holding on to that one.
I got to believe that was definitely a hard hit. It looked like Hancock came in very, very hard on Fincher.
Yeah, Hancock had ill intentions on that one. Fantastic job by Fincher, but he holds on to it, and that makes it 3rd and 2. So a very manageable play here for the River Ridge Knights. Let's see if they can move the sticks. Shotgun snap for Latham. He looks in the flat, and there's the catch for Fincher once again. Sequoia playing really soft on defense, and it comes back to bite him, as that one's going to be about a 10-yard pickup and move the chains for River Ridge.
Rowan Steele and Jackson Hancock combined for the tackle of Fincher on that one, but it's not before he gets a first down.
So Fincher so far, River Ridge's go-to guy tonight. We thought it was going to be Jackson Head with his impressive stats, but Fincher's been the guy that River Ridge has been going to play after play here, and he's been really producing for this River Ridge offense as well, getting a lot of yardage.
Yeah, one of the cruxes of this offense for River Ridge is they're a tremendous running game, and it seems like they're doing a fantastic job now. Direct snap, and that one maybe goes for a gain of 1. So Sequoia with a good job figuring that one out.
And that's the second direct snap taken by Fincher. So River Ridge showing here that they're changing it up a little bit as well, but something we saw with the region matchup last week against Chattahoochee. Have yet to see that so far from Sequoia, but I can imagine we will definitely see that coming up soon.
Interesting, too, because Latham was out on the field, so they snapped it to Fincher, who faked the handoff to Latham, who then acted as a blocker. Latham directing Carter around a little bit, so Latham in the backfield. A little bit of a tighter formation here. Latham takes the snap, fakes the toss. Now he throws this one out to Head, who is on the sidelines in a big collision, and we've got some flags coming in after the catch, but as it stands now, that's a pickup of 10 and a first down. We'll see what the laundry's for.
Bretton Darling tackled Head out of bounds. I don't know if there's a flag on the tackle or maybe after the play.
And we're about to get the call from the official.
Block in the back on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot in the foul. Still second down.
That's going to be huge for the Chiefs, as that makes what we thought was going to be a first down now into a 2nd and 19 scenario for the River Ridge Knights. If Sequoia is going to hold on, this would be the time to do it.
Yeah, flags have played a major part in this first half.
Correction, it's still 2nd and 9. So I guess they don't walk off blocks in the back in high school. Sequoia showing blitz. Latham drops back, has a receiver all by himself, and that's Latham again, or Head again. And Head is able to stretch out and make it 3rd and 4.
Hancock there for another tackle.
Number 2, Jackson Hancock.
So 3rd and 3 coming up for the Knights. 3 minutes left to go in the half. River Ridge going to get the ball back to start the second half. Sequoia going to really want to make a stop here and get this ball back before the half ends. Dual running back, split back formation. Fincher and Carter both on the field. Latham going to send Fincher in motion. And he's going to hand that one off to Carter, who's got a lot of space, and he'll pick up the first down.
That was a lot of speed shown by Carter. He looked like he was about to go the whole way.
And that's another example of River Ridge exposing that Chiefs edge and running up the side, and Chiefs able to get a little bit of quicker stop than last time, but still obviously with River Ridge getting the first down, not the result that Sequoia would have liked.
Even after that flag against River Ridge, Sequoia still can't stop him.
Trips to the near side of the field. Ball on the far hash mark marked at the Sequoia 45. Running back in motion now. Latham drops back. He's going to take a deep shot down the field, and that one's going to be deflected. I think he caught that one.
Did he?
Wow, Sequoia interception with 2:03 left to go.
Ridley Joseph, big momentum change for these Chiefs. That is exactly what they needed. Their sideline's getting hyped up right now. That is a great sign for the Sequoia Chiefs.
Well, Sequoia's got 2 minutes and 3 seconds now to try and drive down the field and put some points on the board before the half. Guys, we cannot get into these 4th and short situations again. Got to get big plays on 1st and 2nd down of these drives. Have to put something together here. 2:03 left to go, and you give the ball back to River Ridge in the next half.
Yeah, and this is exactly where we would want to go to Pie Scores, Lucas, or Hancock to get those big runs to get us down the field quickly, as we do only have a couple minutes left here.
Trainer going to roll out. He's going to throw that one ahead to Pie Scores, but Pie Scores had to turn around to try and catch it, so that's an incompletion.
Cam Massey had loads of space on that play. I think if I was trainer, I would look for Cam Massey for a big gain on this drive.
Now the problem here, guys, is if Sequoia starts chucking it down the field and they come up with 2 or 3 incompletions, you're giving the ball back to River Ridge with a good chunk of time left.
Yeah, Sequoia needs to be careful not to run too quickly. Obviously, that interception was big, but they don't want to get too excited and mess up the play. So they want to slow it down a little bit and take it in step.
Snap again. Trainer going to drop back. He's in trouble, and he's going to be taken down for a big sack and a loss of 3. Got to think River Ridge is going to try and take a timeout here, maybe.
Tackled by number 33, Hunter Coleman.
So a minute 40 to go. River Ridge going to hold on to those timeouts. As Sequoia taking their time in the huddle. Cruz Wright going to check into the game as well. Play clock's at 10. Sequoia going to have to hurry up and snap the ball. Hancock hands this one off on the halfback delay. I don't think they picked up the first down, and that'll bring up 4th and 1.
Honestly, got pretty close. I was expecting Lucas to get there, but just a tad bit short.
No, it looks like they're going to spot him.
Oh, he got it.
Down marker.
The original spot was 1 yard short of the line to gain, so there's a first down. And Sequoia looks like they're just content to take a 3-0 deficit into the locker room.
I don't know, Billy. It'll be interesting to see the play call on this one, but unlikely that the Chiefs will score here.
Never say never. Trainer going to roll out, and he's going to be swallowed up for maybe a gain of 3 or 4 yards.
Yeah, the clock's rolling past 35 seconds, and they're just letting it keep on streaming away.
Sequoia calls a timeout with 37 seconds left to go in the first half as they still trail River Ridge 3-0. So, guys, a low-scoring affair here as Sequoia unable to get out of their own way, and River Ridge only sporting a field goal.
Yeah, and penalties so far have been make or break for Sequoia. That's what Max and I were talking about pregame. That's been the story all season for Sequoia, and so far they've been breaking the Chiefs so far tonight. I mean, really plaguing them, especially on defense, and even a bit on offense as well.
I think that second drive by Sequoia, when they got on the 4th and 2 and they decided to go for it, I think that was a big decision by Coach Teeter, even though it seemed early and their 4th down game is reliable. I think them going to go for it on 4th down, that was a big decision, as they could have gone for it and made a field goal and possibly tied it up.
Well, I think the even bigger point of the game was when Trainer and the Chiefs offense was down, basically inside the 10-yard line, and Trainer just took off, snapped the ball before the offensive line was set. They had 4th and 1, and it turned into 4th and 6. They tried the field goal, and it just didn't work. Trainer going to take a shot down the field, and Massey just unable to get to it. So Massey had a few steps on his defender. Trainer just couldn't hit him.
Yeah, Massey had burnt Carson Latham on that play. I don't know if that was Massey's fault. Maybe he was too far off the route, but Trainer's ball was definitely in front of him.
So Trainer just misses on the potentially huge play for Cameron Massey.
Yeah, there was no one else but him there. He had a lot of room to go if he had caught that, that's for sure.
Shotgun formation, Pie scores in motion, 32 seconds left to go. Trainer going to run it himself, and he's going to be tripped up as he maybe gained about 3 or 4 yards, and the clock's going to keep running here. As River Ridge going to go ahead and take a timeout. So River Ridge thinking they're going to get the ball back with 22 seconds left to go. And we'll see what Sequoia can come up with here. They're pretty deep in their own end, but they've got 20 seconds to go. And we saw Cameron Massey burn his man on the last play, so I wonder if Sequoia is thinking they might take another deep shot.
Yeah. Trainer on that one just missed Massey by about 3 feet. And I think that goes to Trainer. The line is really pressuring him, the D-line, and I think he just really needs to contain himself, maintain his composure. Besides that, he's playing well.
Yeah, and although Trainer usually we see him handing it off, I think he does have quite an arm. I mean, there's not much that Trainer can't do, so I think he could definitely heave it downfield if necessary.
And he had a good look at Massey. I mean, Massey had inside position on his man. He had 2 or 3 yards of separation. Just Trainer couldn't get the ball to him. So Sequoia out in punt formation now on 4th and 3. 22 seconds left to go in the half. And Trainer going to punt this one down the field. Takes a pretty friendly Sequoia Chiefs bounce. It's headed to the end zone. Let's see if Sequoia can track it down. And that one is going to settle harmlessly inside the 10-yard line, and that'll stop the clock with 7 seconds left. So, guys, first half, not a lot of scoring going on. A lot of back and forth football as if you're Sequoia, you're still in great position to make something happen here, but got to feel like you missed a lot of opportunities in the first half.
Yeah, River Ridge is not ahead or pulling away by any means, and Chiefs are not out of it either. But definitely there is a couple plays that I think Coach Cheater and the Chiefs might look back on, like Max was saying early in that first quarter. Should they have gone for it? Should they have gone for the field goal? But, I mean, either way, we still have another half of football to play, so there will definitely be some other decisions made, and I'm sure that the score will change. It will not be 3-0 by the end of the night.
And victory formation per se, as River Ridge going to go ahead and take a knee, and that'll do it for the first half here from Skip Pope Memorial Stadium. Your score, the River Ridge Knights leading the Sequoia Chiefs 3-0 in what has been a low-scoring affair.
Yeah, definitely. I think it goes back to the blocked field goal, the fourth down attempt, and honestly good defensive play by both teams here on Skip Pope.
Guys, let's give a little credit to River Ridge's defense here. They've done a fantastic job. That fourth and short was huge. I mean, that stop on 4th and 2 on Sequoia's second drive of the game, real big momentum shift. And the other thing, too, is that special teams unit to come up and block that field goal, that was huge. I mean, they take a 3-point lead into halftime, and they get the ball back as opposed to being all tied up at the end of the first half. So a big shout-out to what River Ridge is doing defensively. They're just at the right place at the right time, and they're making the big plays when they need to.
Yeah, and it seems like that Sequoia's defense is making big plays, but it seems that they're just not tackling. They aren't able to get to Finchner quick enough before it gets big gains on the ground and through the air.
But as far as this defensive effort goes, they've only given up 3 points. So they've done a very good job of keeping that team in the game. And you got to wonder if Sequoia can just find a way to break through offensively, if they'll be able to come away with a win here tonight.
Yeah, the big thing they need to break through offensively is the penalties on both sides of the ball. I think we haven't talked about that in a couple of minutes, but I think penalties have affected both teams, and if Sequoia fixes that up or River Ridge, they have a huge chance of pulling away. Yeah,
and if Sequoia can break open that, I mean, they can really, really pull ahead here. I mean, they've had a lot of good looks. They've been able to convert on 4th down multiple times already, and that's a really, really good sign going into the second half that if they can get a hold of it, which hopefully they can, they could really pull ahead of the River Ridge Knights here.
So let's go down to the field for just a second. We're taking a moment here on Military and First Responder Appreciation Night. Guys, if we could go ahead and direct our camera down to midfield. We have Military Appreciation Night going on here at Sequoia High School, as we've got some first responders and public servants getting some due recognition down on midfield. As we wanted to take the opportunity here tonight to do something to honor our first responders, honor our military folks, and just say thank you for your service. And if you're watching at home and you're in that group, thank you once again for providing us the safety that we have at night, protecting us, taking care of us when we're sick, rescuing us from fires, coming to us in our moments of need. We want to thank all the first responders and veterans out there. Thank you very much for everything that you do, and we're recognizing them right now down at midfield. Guys, I'm going to let you go for the half, and we'll see you when you come back in just a second. We'll go ahead and leave your headset up, and we'll see you guys with about 5 minutes before the second half starts, all right? So if you're joining us right now, we're having a moment of silence.
Let's give these local heroes a round of applause.
So once again, let's hear it for our service members and first responders. Joining me now in the booth, switching sports there for a second, as it's going to be the boys' head basketball coach, Coach Caden. Go ahead and pick up that one, Coach. We'll go ahead and shift gears for a second to a completely different sport. Coach, how's the basketball team looking this year?
Well, first of all, Chase, thanks for having me up here. Really excited about being here and everything. The first thing before we talk about basketball, I just want to tell you what a great week it's been here at Sequoia. Think about our softball team went and won 2 big games in Albany, I think, and also Columbus.
I think they took down Lee County.
Yeah, Lee County won 2 games. And, of course, our #1 ranked volleyball team won. I think that makes them 50-3 now.
Wow.
You know. as a basketball coach, I'd love to be 50
I'd love
and 3.
to be 50 and 3.
So, and then we're playing. I mean, this is a great game here tonight.
It
everything.
is.
So real excited about that and everything, but also excited about Monday coming up, and it's the first day of basketball practice. So I'm excited about that.
And we know that's your bread and butter, Coach.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit. Let's step back for just a second. First of all, we want to recognize those softball and volleyball teams. Unfortunately, because of my employment status, I cannot broadcast all those games. I would love to do a volleyball game and a softball game. We just got to get something that's not in Albany. I know the volleyball team's home. Unfortunately, I can't call the game Wednesday night. I'm out of town, but maybe we can get Max and Will to call it. I don't know. We'll have to talk to Brad about that.
Remember, they play tomorrow. Volleyball plays tomorrow at 12 o'clock right here in the War Lodge. And I'm not really sure who they play tomorrow, but I know if they win that, then they play next Wednesday. And I know that softball's going to Columbus, I think, again next Tuesday or so.
Columbus is a long drive, and I'm unavailable tomorrow and Wednesday. So hopefully we can work something out to where we can broadcast your guys' games. I really want to recognize all the special things that some of the other teams here at Sequoia are accomplishing.
Yeah.
I mean, 50 and 3. My goodness,
Yeah,
that is incredible.
We're real fortunate and blessed to have the kids that we have here at Sequoia. We have tremendous athletes. Not only do we have tremendous athletes, we have tremendously dedicated coaches and everything. Tremendous administration, with our principal, Mr. Van Alstein, and then of course our athletic director, Peter Voida. They just do tremendous jobs in supporting our athletics and everything. And I'm just very honored and excited to be a part of that.
So let's go ahead and switch gears to basketball. How's the team looking this year?
Well, I'm really looking forward to the season. I've got a very hard-working group of kids. They put in a ton of time in the summer. We probably played, I think, 34 games during the month of June. We've already played. I think we played about 18 or 20 games or so in fall, and they put in a ton of work in the weight room. On their own in the 4-on-1s, and then also individually. So, we've got some experience coming back. We're a senior-laden team. Just very, very excited about the group that we have coming, because not only hard-working kids, they're good kids too.
Yeah, you talked about that core that's coming back. You guys are going to be shooting the lights out of the building this year. You guys lost Aiden Watson. He was a senior last year, so that takes away a little bit from that inside presence. But one of the things we saw last year was Fisher Mitchell was really good on the inside. He played really good at the high post, the low post. He was definitely one of my favorite players to watch.
Well, Fisher's a little bit of jack of all trades. He does the dirty work inside, but he can also step out on a pick and pop and knock down a three. He can knock down a trail three off the break. He can also go inside. He had multiple double-digit games and rebounds last year. He's poised for a really good senior year.
And speaking of popping outside and hitting the three-pointer, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Dylan Wally.
Well, like I say, every coach I've talked to about Dylan, and of course Dylan went ahead and signed with Rollins University and everything. We're
Congratulations.
excited about that. Very excited about that. But I tell every coach I talk to, Dylan is a coach's dream. It's the first one at practice, the last one to leave. Gets up every morning and goes and works out at the Shooter's Nest. He works out in the morning. I'll be here at 6 o'clock in the morning working him out and everything. He puts in time. He's a great leader. Him, along with our other senior, Kyle Keener, I think are one of the best backcourts, not only in the county but also in the state. Together from last year, I mean, you're talking about averaging about 33 points a game together.
Yeah, I don't think there was probably a better backcourt in our region last year. Speaking of our region, Coach, that's a tough draw in that region. It's so good. It's so deep. You guys kind of stayed in the middle last year. You'd have some flashes, but it looked like sometimes the depth of that region just wore you guys down.
Well, last year we were so inconsistent. We could play some really, really good basketball, and then we might follow it up with some not so stellar basketball. We hope this year to be a lot more consistent. The drawback is, you're right, the region is so tough. River Ridge is going to have one of their best teams they've ever had. Chattahoochee is really stacked this year. Centennial's got some, even though they lost some kids, they got some really good players coming back. Riverwood will be good. And then you got like Creekview. Anytime you play Creekview, it's going to be a tough game. Cambridge has got a new coach and brought some new energy in there and everything. Every team in our region is going to be tough. It really is.
Yeah. Well, we're going to try and bring as many basketball games to you as we can on ChiefsTV.org. It'll either be myself or maybe Will and Max will get to do a couple of their of solo games themselves. And we've got a big event coming up in December, the War Lodge Invitational. Coach, tell us a little bit about that one.
Excited about that. I think with our boys and girls teams, we've got about, 32 teams over 2 days. We're playing in 3 different venues. Of course, we're playing in the War Lodge. We're playing at Dean Russ Middle School, and then we're playing a few games at Squeeze Gym, too. The neat thing about this, I don't know if you realize it, it's also a shot clock tournament. So we'll be using the shot clock in every game and everything. We just had them installed the other day in the gym and in the other gym. We've got portables that we'll use in Dean Rusk. So it'll be a 35-second shot clock for all our games, which we'll utilize in the region this year. Won't use it in the state tournament, but it'll be utilized in the region and any other games like the War Lodge or Classics or anything like that.
So that was going to be my next question, is when is the shot clock in Georgia going to be fully implemented?
Fully implemented will be next year. It was on a 3-year implementation process. Last year it was just Classics and tournaments and everything. This year it was region play, and you had to vote on it region. We voted to play it. But then when the state tournament comes around, we won't use a shot clock.
So how does the shot clock benefit, or does the shot clock benefit or hurt you guys?
Truthfully, I don't think it definitely benefits us. I don't think it hurts us. I do think that coaches will have to put a lot more time and effort into late game situations. And I know I'm one that when it gets during winning time under 3 minutes, we'll take a little bit of air out of the ball and try to get layups and wide open shots and everything. So now you still can do that, but you've got to have something to do when it's short shot clock.
So, Coach, changing gears for a second, who's probably some of the players we should watch for coming off the bench this year? Some of the guys that they're not going to be starting, but they're still going to be key contributors to the team.
Well, I mean, we've got some kids. Connor Harris may be a starter for us, but he's a big key to our team that could be a starter, somebody coming off the bench. You got Cam Harrington, you got Mason Waterbore, you got Tyson Darby. We've Stephen Galvin. We've got some kids that are coming off the bench. And could be possible starters. Remember, I've got a really, really good starting 5 with Dylan and Kyle and Fisher, and then Preston Parker has grown, has matured, and has really had a good summer for us and had a good fall during that time and everything. So I've got the biggest thing with my team is we're not going to pass the look test. When we walk out on the floor, we're not going to be very awe-inspiring. Ball goes up, it's a little bit different. I do think our team chemistry is very good. I really like these kids, the way they bond with each other. We do have some leadership with Kyle Fisher and Dylan, some of the other kids. And like I say, the biggest thing is I just got great kids with great parents and great support.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us. We're really looking forward to basketball season this year, both boys and girls. The girls team's pretty highly touted.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to try and talk to Coach Yarborough at some point before the football season ends. But thank you so much for coming on, and good luck this year.
And last thing, don't forget, we have our golf tournament. One of our big fundraisers this Wednesday at Bradshaw Farms. Shotgun start at 9 o'clock. We still have spots available if you want to come. All right. And obviously, we have spots available if you want to be a sponsorship on it and everything. So thanks a lot, Chase.
Coach, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Fans, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be right back at the start of the second half. Your score here from Skip Pope Stadium, the River Ridge Knights leading the Sequoia Chiefs 3-0. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Skip Popp Memorial Stadium as your Sequoia Chiefs are trailing the River Ridge Knights by a score of 3-0. We're about 2 minutes away from kickoff. Guys, this will be the first kickoff that River Ridge has returned all night. Sequoia didn't score any points, and they didn't get the ball to start the first half.
Yeah, Sequoia coming close multiple times, able to convert on 4th down multiple times as well. Just not able to go that final step, even though they were in the River Ridge red zone that one time late in the first quarter, I believe it was. So Sequoia almost able to put it all together, just not quite.
Yeah, I think those two, that 4th down and 2 that they didn't get in the red zone and that blocked field goal, amazing job by that River Ridge defense. Those are 2 big plays that held Sequoia scoreless.
As we get ready to get back underway here, about 1 minute and 15 seconds away from kickoff. Guys, it seemed like the first half for Sequoia was a lot of missed opportunities, but at the same time, the defense did their part and still kept it within reach. Sequoia with a big chance here to still get out of here with a region win.
Yeah, this game was 100% within their grasp. They did a great job by holding the Knights to 3. Carson Latham on that offense with Jackson Head is a huge threat. And they've honestly done really good at managing that. And I've been really impressed by their defense thus far.
Yeah, Daniel Fitchner, another name that's really been a thorn in the side of this Sequoia defense. He's been running all over them, up the middle, around the edges. That's going to be another guy that they're going to have to put a stop to if the Chiefs want to get back into it.
And, you know, just on a side note real quick, looking across the stadium, a pretty decent contingent of River Ridge fans have made their way over to the game tonight. The student section pretty rowdy over there. They're doing a good job of trying to hype their team up. So we're getting ready to get underway here as Sequoia about to kick this one off to River Ridge. And there's the horn.
Number 2, Andrew Bingham, out to return for the Knights.
So Bingham, an athlete. He also plays both sides of the ball, and we've got a whistle on a kickoff.
What's new?
Not necessarily that new. So we'll try it again. So this should make it a bit of a returnable kickoff as now we're about to get underway. And now the kick finally goes up in the air. And this one going to bounce at the 5-yard line and go out the back of the end zone for a touchback. So River Ridge going to start from their own 20-yard line, up 3-0 to start the second half.
In that first half, we saw a lot of Jackson Hancock making some vicious tackles on line of scrimmage and really just putting it on the River Ridge offense. I'm excited to see if he continues that. It seems like he has some motivation behind all of his hits this game.
I think he definitely does, and we saw him, I believe it was in the middle of the second quarter, he had those 2 really big defensive hits in a row. That big tackle on, I believe it was Fincher. And so, yeah, he definitely does have some motivation, something behind that, trying to get it to the offense as quick as he can so he can get an opportunity to score a touchdown maybe.
So River Ridge offense back out onto the field. Latham in the shotgun. Drops back, he's going to pass. He's got his slot receiver, who's Fincher, who's got a lot of space, and he is streaking up the sideline, and a touchdown-saving tackle as he's going to go out of bounds at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, Bretton Darling barely got a hand on Fincher, but that was enough to get him out of bounds. Really saved the touchdown, Chase.
And we saw that a couple times where Fincher would run up the edges in the first half, and he was able to get quite a bit of yardage there. But it does seem to be that there is a flag on the field.
So let's see what the call is. It's definitely in the area of holding.
And penalties have been make or break for Sequoia here tonight, so we'll see what the result is for them.
Definitely looking like it's on River Ridge because they're about to walk off a penalty here. So as we get ready to walk this one off, and there is no flag on the play, so they're going to pick up the flag, and that will be a big pickup for Fincher and the River Ridge Knights offense. So the first play from scrimmage goes for about 24 yards. And if you're River Ridge, that's how you wanted to come out of the locker room.
Yeah, Sequoia held Fincher down to not that many yards in the first half. Although he had a great first half, they really managed him. But that was a huge gain to start the second half.
4 wide receiver set, throw back to Fincher again, and he's going to be chased down by Hancock after a pickup of 3 yards, maybe 4. Looks like they're going to give him 4.
Jackson Hancock again with a big tackle there.
So 2nd and 6 coming up for River Ridge.
And Hancock jumping on Fincher quickly once again, able to tackle him well beyond the line of scrimmage there.
Well, that's one of the impressive things about the athleticism of that sophomore is he's really able to cover a lot of ground in a very short time, and he's able to mitigate some of the damage there and keep it to 2nd and 6. So shotgun formation once again for the Knights. Sequoia still playing single high safety. Looks like they're going to try and stay man on these River Ridge players, as that one is just beyond the reach of Bingham. So that'll bring up 3rd and 6. So maybe Sequoia can tighten up on defense and get a stop here at midfield.
That huge run didn't look good for the Sequoia defense right off the bat, but a 3rd and 6 is much more positive, has a much more positive outlook for this Chiefs defense.
Shotgun once again, and firing this one down into the flat is going to be River Ridge again, and a late flag comes in from deep in the backfield. Let's see who that one's going to be on. If the play stands, that's going to be another first down and a pickup of 13 for River Ridge. Just got to see what the flag is. Officials back here talking about it. That flag came all the way from the back judge. So he was standing on about the 25-yard line behind the Chiefs defense, and he threw it right about the time the ball carrier turned the corner.
He was tackled out of bounds by Avery Bourne in that play.
Sequoia Chiefs reacting favorably to the conversation going on between the Zebras at the moment. Still talking about this one, but if it's a penalty on River Ridge, that's got to be a huge momentum shift for the Sequoia Chiefs.
Yes, it would be the second one this drive that's really affected River Ridge's situation.
The first one was picked up, and that's what got us to this point. 10:50 left to go in the third quarter. Guys, we saw this last week where it seemed like the third quarter and the second quarter would never end. It was just long call after long call, so we're still waiting to see what the results of that play was. But another great call dialed up by the River Ridge offense, and they're going to pick that one up again too. And we'll return the obligatory I.O. over here to the fan to my right. So a big pickup for River Ridge as they will take the ball at the 38-yard line, starting to get into Sequoia territory. Running back goes in motion. That's Carter. He's going to bounce to the outside. Latham drops back. He's got a little bit of pressure behind him. He's going to fake that one. Now he's going to take off on his own. Steele in pursuit, and Steele going to force him to the sideline, and he tackles him out of bounds after a pickup of 4.
Yeah, Avery Bourne has some great pressure on Latham at first thing, but then Latham scrambled out of bounds, but then a huge hit by Rowan Steele.
Chains crew hasn't moved yet, but I don't see a penalty marker down on the field. Still waiting for them to spot the ball. Here comes the official. I didn't see a flag, but let's see what's going on here. So it looks like an illegal shift on River Ridge, and that'll come back 5 yards.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, still first down.
So that turns this into a 1st and 15 for River Ridge. Ball going to be on the near hash mark on the 43-yard line.
And Chase, that was one of the first plays where the River Ridge quarterback didn't really look like he had a bunch of options there. He was in the backfield, but waited around, didn't seem to see anybody. So Sequoia doing a little bit better job of pass coverage there and not allowing the River Ridge quarterback options earlier.
A little confusion there from the wide receiver core for River Ridge. Fincher going to go in motion, giving me a hard time. That should make it easier because one of our lights just went out.
Yeah, definitely hard to see the goldish silver numbers on the white jerseys.
Latham drops back, fires this one to the sideline where Jackson Head picks that one up. And it looks like Sequoia going to come up with the football. Did Head fumble it? So Carter Sandt with the fumble recovery. Because it was right in front of the Chiefs bench, we didn't see it. But I guess Sequoia forcing another turnover. That's the second of the night. And Sequoia going to get the ball back here and stall out that River Ridge drive.
Yeah, one of my keys to the game that I actually had written down was for Sequoia to force turnovers. And they've forced 2 so far, and I think it's a very good sign for this Chiefs defense and the Chiefs team as a whole.
Yeah, and that interception by Ridley Joseph at the end of the second quarter, I kind of forgot about. But that was a positive note for the Chiefs. Unfortunately, they were not able to convert it to a touchdown as they only had a couple minutes left in the first half.
We got a sideline interference penalty. That's Sequoia. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So Sequoia going to pick up a 5-yard penalty. For a sideline infraction. They'd been warned about that earlier in the game. 9:42 left to go in the third. Sequoia on the big turnover as Sandt was able to recover the fumble. And we'll see if Sequoia can take a lead here early in the second half. So handoff to the wingback as he motions across, and that one maybe picks up 1 yard. Not what Sequoia needed on first down.
Tackled by Brian Bradley. We haven't talked about him much in the first half, besides on one return, but that was a big tackle through Brian Bradley. He's a beast on the line, as you said earlier, Chase.
Trainer under center, wingback in motion again. Trainer going to roll out of the pocket. He's still continuing to roll, and he's going to be forced out of bounds. No, he jump throws that one, and it's going to be incomplete.
A lot of pressure coming after Trainer on that one, including Brian Bradley again.
So a loss on the play there for the Chiefs, and that'll bring up 3rd and long, and Sequoia's offense seemingly struggling here out of the locker room on their first possession of the second half. So a big 3rd down now for Sequoia. Don't want to go 3 and out on your first possession out of the gate. Sequoia, bad throw there by Trainer, as he threw that one into traffic intended for Jackson Hancock, and that'll bring up 4th and 13 for the Chiefs.
Yeah, the ball just fell right into Micah Martineau's hands. He almost had it. If he had looked at maybe a second earlier, that would have been back-to-back turnovers by both teams.
Yeah, he nearly intercepted that. Looks like he just slipped a little bit before he was able to get to the ball.
Micah Martineau, after that almost interception, is back for the punt return now.
So another chance for River Ridge as Sequoia has to punt the ball from their own 24-yard line. Clean snap, and Trainer going to boot that one out of there. A good kick as fair catch is signaled for at the 32-yard line by Martineau. One would probably argue that that's River Ridge's best starting field position of the night.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would say probably Trainer's best punt of the night as well.
Trainer kind of makes me nervous with that punt. He like steps to the side a little bit, takes a handful of steps, and then kicks at the last minute. But he's doing an excellent job of it, especially on that one.
Yeah, not a traditional looking punt, but I mean, hey, it's doing the job so far tonight.
Every time the punt block just keeps on getting closer and closer, I'm just like, oh my goodness, they're gonna block it, but they never do. Trainer always gets it off.
Split backfield once again. Both running backs flanking Latham. Latham going to hand this one off, bouncing to the outside, and nice open field tackle. And we've got a flag coming in at the end of the play. But Hancock keeps the damage at 1 yard. We had a flag come in at the very end of that play over in the neighborhood of the offensive line.
That was ran by Andrew Bingham.
So an excellent open field tackle by Hancock. And we're going to get a holding call on River Ridge, so that'll back them up. 8:45 left to go in the third. Still 3-0 here from Skip Pope Stadium, as both teams unable to find the end zone.
So River Ridge have had 3 offensive penalties so far. So Chiefs have not been as affected as in the first half. River Ridge a little bit more.
We saw penalties be Sequoia's first half undoing, and now River Ridge starting to get quite a few of their own. That turns this one into 1st and long, 1st and 20 for River Ridge. Latham going to fire a shot down the field. Good catch in the middle of the field, and that'll pick up about 13 of it.
Avery Bourne was about a foot away from getting a hand on Carson Latham on that play.
2nd and 7 coming up for River Ridge.
I believe that was Grant Hollier, the freshman receiver on River Ridge. A little difficult to see his number, but I think I'm close with that one.
Yeah, he got away from Isaiah Sanders on the coverage on that play.
Snap taken, handoff given to, I believe that's Carter. And he's going to be stood up at the 40-yard line and dropped. And that'll bring up 3rd and short once again for River Ridge.
A lot of 3rd and shorts for River Ridge in the first half. They had a very good conversion percentage there. And so they didn't have a 3rd and short on their first drive, but I can definitely see them maybe getting this. This will be another big stop for them for their defense to get it transitioned quickly over to their offense as well.
So 3rd and 2, and for the most part, River Ridge been creating a pretty clean pocket for Carson Latham. Let's see what they decide to go with here on 3rd and short. Handoff up the middle, and a lot of room for River Ridge. It's a track meet down to the end zone, and Hancock's going to win that one and saves the touchdown as he drags the running back down at the 18-yard line. Huge play for the River Ridge Knights.
Tyler Carter, what a run by the kid. He just had a lot of space and just took it. Darted down the field, and I'm surprised that Jackson Hancock was able to stay with him, but it's Jackson Hancock. He's too speedy.
And that's the same area of space that River Ridge has been getting all night, those open lanes on the edges, and that's no different from what we've seen in the first half.
1st and 10 from the Sequoia 18-yard line. River Ridge in the Chiefs' red zone once again. Running back in motion, he goes out to the slot, direct snap, and that one is going to be sniffed out after a pickup of 4. It's one of those plays that gets a sneaky good amount of yards. It's almost like he just gets by his blocker, and you'd think, oh man, he only got 1 or 2 yards on that one, but he picked up about 4 there, so that's a pretty decent pickup on 1st down for the River Ridge Knights.
It's also a play that they've run multiple times. At first I thought it was just a trick play, but I think that might be part of their regular playbook, and as you said, it is a little bit sneaky, being able to pick up 4 or 5 yards every time.
Tight end to the left side of the line. Latham fakes the handoff, and he's going to be dropped for a big loss. Matthew Trainer on the safety blitz, and that's going to make it 3rd and 11 for River Ridge.
Matthew Trainer absolutely swallowed Carson Latham to the ground. He had nowhere to go. He was there first thing.
Maybe not necessarily the greatest read by Latham, but Trainer covered a lot of ground in a short amount of time. It looked like he was considering the handoff, and then he just kind of took it, and as soon as he pulled it back, Trainer was all over him. You know, maybe it's one of those things where it takes a quarterback to recognize what another quarterback's going to do, but a fantastic heads-up play there by Matthew Trainer. Big 3rd and 11 coming up for River Ridge, and we're going to get a timeout.
Yeah, Latham had the option to hand it off to Carter, but maybe he saw something we didn't, but it obviously didn't end up well for him.
Yeah, and that Trainer tackle looking similar to what Hancock has done a few times tonight, quickly getting past the line of scrimmage and just wrapping him up and tackling him for a loss of yards.
So with 5:20 left to go in the 3rd quarter, River Ridge still on top of Sequoia, 3-0 as Sequoia burns its first timeout. We'll go ahead and give a big sponsor shout out here.
Alrighty, we'd like to thank All About Health in Woodstock on Highway 92, located in the Publix Plaza. Since 1998, All About Health has been providing knowledgeable service that makes a difference. From vitamins and minerals, herbs to supplements, their extensive inventory fulfills all of our health goals. Find out what separates them from the competition and stop by today. Next, we have Property Masters, proudly servicing the Southeast since 1996. Property Masters' team of experts provides the broadest range of landscape services to make your home's outdoor space beautiful and functional. And finally, we have Ready Mix USA. Ready Mix USA is a proud sponsor of the Sequoia Chiefs community. As a superior industry-leading, or as a supplier of industry-leading products and solutions to satisfy the construction needs of our community, Ready Mix USA is honored to help build a better future for Cherokee County and the greater Atlanta area.
So a big third down coming up. This would be a huge stop for Sequoia. Latham in the shotgun. Ball on the far hash mark on the 18-yard line. Two wide receivers on each side. Latham, clean pocket, drops back. Now the pocket collapses and he has to flush out. Throws this one towards the end zone, and the ball falls harmlessly to the turf. No, he caught it. Oh my goodness, what a huge catch. And that'll bring up 1st and goal for the Knights. Guys, I thought I saw the ball hit the ground.
I don't know, it was definitely a close call. It looked like he kind of fell on the ball there, but either way, it looks like they're going to give River Ridge the completion there.
Avery Bourne was about 2 feet away from Latham once again on that play.
So a fantastic job by River Ridge. 1st and goal now from the 4-yard line, and we've got a whistle. And it's going to be a false start on River Ridge. At least that's what the side judge signaled, was false start. So this one will come back to the 9-yard line. So 1st and goal.
On the offense, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, still 1st down.
Pre-snap penalty on River Ridge makes it 1st and goal from the 9. They were on the 4-yard line. Got to get a touchdown anyway. Latham under center, and a great tackle in the backfield for Sequoia as Matthew Trainer picks up another tackle for loss. So he has been an absolute stud on this defensive series for the Chiefs.
Yeah, Trainer and Hancock continuing to get massive tackles that are really helping out the Chiefs defense get stops on 1st and 2nd down. But where they really need them is those 3rd downs. Those are crucial, and River Ridge has been making a lot of 3rd down conversions tonight.
So 2nd and goal from the 10-yard line. Latham going to go back into a shotgun formation. Pre-snap motion. Latham going to go under center now. He's going to be flanked by Head. Head going to drop back into the backfield as a running back. Latham double fakes the handoff. He's going to take off. He's got Bourne chasing him down from behind, and Bourne's going to stop him at about the 6-yard line. So that'll bring up 3rd and goal as look at the closing speed on the big man to chase Latham down from behind.
Yeah, Bourne has been absolutely running after Latham the whole time, like chasing him. And finally he gets him. Might have been after a game of about 4, but still, Bourne has been craving a hit on Latham this whole game.
Yeah, yeah. After that gain of 4, I mean, Bourne was really able to. I mean, he really sped up there and was able to get the tackle on him, which is definitely good. And as I was saying, Chiefs have been able to get the 1st and down stops, but what they need to do is right here. Those 3rd down stops have been really key, especially with River Ridge this close.
3rd down, a big one now. Latham with a clean pocket fires this one to the end zone. Waiting on the call, touchdown, River Ridge. So River Ridge, the first team to finally make it into the end zone, and it comes at 3:13 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Who else would it be but Jackson Head on the touchdown reception?
So Jackson Head, the big tight end, and that was a great play call that they dialed up as Head just went over to the near pylon, got inside positioning, and was able to catch that ball. And now Sequoia trailing River Ridge by 2 scores.
Yeah, they weren't able to capitalize off that interception. Although it was late in the first half, they weren't able to capitalize. Sequoia was in the first half, and they were not able to capitalize after the fumble earlier.
Extra point attempt is up and good. So your score now with 3:13 left to go in the 3rd quarter. River Ridge 10, Sequoia 0. Guys, Sequoia going to have to come up with something on offense here.
Yeah, and Sequoia's defense has been doing a great job tonight so far. I mean, they've gotten the 2 turnovers with the interception and the fumble recovery, but I mean, the offense really just hasn't been able to match what the defense has been doing and continue to persevere and get all the way to that end zone. They've been able to convert on 4th downs, like we've said multiple times already, and they've been able to get far down the field, have good starting field positioning, but I mean, they just haven't been able to put it all together.
Yeah, exactly. Well, exactly like you said, the defense has been really showing off. Jackson Hancock, Matthew Trainer, huge hits on all players. But their defense, I mean, their offense has not been able to reciprocate with as much productivity.
Guys, we mentioned this a couple times on the broadcast, but in the 9th meeting, in the 8 times previous that these teams have played, Sequoia's never been shut out. And last year was the first time, was the lowest scoring they had ever been held to with a point total of 6. Sequoia staring down the barrel of getting blanked here by River Ridge if they don't make something happen offensively. A high kick, and that one's going to be taken by Hancock. Hancock takes that one at the 15-yard line, trying to find a little bit of room, and he's going to be tackled at what looks to be the 23-yard line.
Tackled by Brandon Dye on that return.
So 3:09 left to go in the third. Guys, we've seen the Chiefs make a comeback of games before. We saw it in the Cherokee game. Sequoia was trailing by 2 touchdowns at the end of the third quarter, and we're able to crawl back to within 1 point, and maybe we can get some of that magic here again tonight.
But in that Cherokee game, we saw some offensive productivity. We haven't seen much at all in the second half.
So Sequoia coming out with the shotgun. Pie scores in motion. Trainer going to hand it off to him, and that's going to go nowhere except for a big loss for Sequoia.
And Chase and Max, well, Sequoia is down by 2 scores. They are not out of it, as you said. They still have a whole 4th quarter to play. So there's still 15 minutes left to play here in this game. And while the wing tee is not built for quick plays, that is something that they can do, as we saw with Chattahoochee. I mean, heck, they had a 10-second touchdown, a 59-second touchdown. So quick touchdowns, while they are a rarity, they are still possible for this offense, and that's something that they're really going to need to draw on tonight.
So 2nd and looks like 16 coming up for Sequoia. Deep in a hole now. Trainer drops back. Pocket absolutely collapses around him, and a big catch there along the sideline by what appears to be Cruz Wright.
I think that was Cameron Massey on the reception.
So it was Massey. We got the 7 part right, just didn't get the first number right. So good catch there for Massey along the sidelines. That'll make it 3rd and what appears to be 7. Still not ideal for Sequoia, but a good job there, and maybe a confidence builder for Trainer picking up a big gain.
Yeah, Massey's 2nd reception on the night. So it seems that when Sequoia does go for the pass option, Massey is their go-to guy, as he's been their receiver. You know, Lucas and Pie scores more of their running backs, and then Hancock a little bit of versatile. He can do either or, but it seems when it comes to passing, that's Massey's call right there.
Yeah, definitely. Massey has been. I still remember that one of the last plays that Sequoia had in the first half. Massey was wide open on that go route. It seemed like it, and Trainer just overthrew him. It could have been really a game changing. Now that it's 10-0, it could I don't know, 10-7 maybe.
So Sequoia takes their 2nd time out of the half. Guys, we saw this in the first half. Sequoia had to run through some timeouts pretty early, and they were unable to make anything happen towards the end of the first half when they had the ball with under a minute left to go. Got to wonder if this is going to come back and be something detrimental, but a huge 3rd down coming up for the Sequoia Chiefs here. So Sequoia in the shotgun, a bunch of wide receivers now. It looks like we've got 3 of them, a tight end and a running back. Trainer going to drop back. Lets one fly towards the sideline. Big catch, and that one is going to be a 1st down for Sequoia, courtesy of Jack Pie scores.
The D-line was really getting close to putting a hand on Matthew Trainer there.
Guys, we got to talk about how beautiful that pass was from Matthew Trainer. He dropped that one right in Pie Score's breadbasket, and he put it only where Pie Scores could get it, and that's good enough to move the sticks for Sequoia.
Yeah, that was a great pass by Trainer. Not an arm we usually see, but definitely one that the Chiefs need.
So Trainer in the shotgun again. 2 wide receivers now, a tight end And Hancock, Trainer runs into his running back, and now he's got a lot of space, cuts up the field. It's a track meet all the way to the end zone. He's got a blocker. Trainer is going to be brought down from behind at the 7-yard line. What a job there by Matthew Trainer. He collided with Peyton Lucas on the exchange, took it himself, and now Sequoia is dangerously within striking distance.
Yeah, it looked like that play was going to be done almost before it even started, but Trainer just able to weave in between those River Ridge defenders and nearly score a touchdown there. That was a big, big run for Trainer right there.
Yeah, Jake Ruth, the all-star DB for the Knights, had to run like the whole field to get back to Matthew Trainer, and that was a great effort by him, but not after Matthew Trainer got to a 1st and goal.
So ball's marked on the 8. We thought he was down at the 7, but 1st and goal from the 8-yard line for Sequoia. Best scoring chance they've had all evening. Trainer going to hand this one off to Lucas. Lucas rumbles ahead, and I don't think he got much on that one, maybe 2 yards. So Pye scores on the carry. Massey and Hancock going to go ahead and check into the game.
We could see a pass here now that Massey and Hancock are in.
So Pye score is going to come to the sideline. Now he's got to go back out. Personnel issues for Sequoia. How many guys do they have on the field? So 2nd and goal for the Chiefs from the 6-yard line. Trainer drops the ball, and River Ridge thinks they've got it. They don't, but once again, Sequoia, their own worst enemy, fumbling the football in the red zone. 40 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter.
I think Trainer just got too ahead of himself there. The momentum and adrenaline that came from that huge rush, and just, I think he just got too inside of his own head.
And Max, that's exactly what we saw at the end of the 1st quarter with Trainer snapping it before his O-line was ready, and that ended up trying in a field goal attempt for Sequoia.
Snap is taken. They try to run this one up the middle. No, a catch, and going towards the end zone. Did he get in? Touchdown, Sequoia Chiefs. Jackson Hancock. No, that's Cruz Wright who catches that one in the flat. And Sequoia scores their first touchdown of the night with 11 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter.
Chase, we got ourselves a game again.
So a fantastic job there. Once again, an excellent fake by Matthew Trainer. Rolls out of the pocket and finds Cruz Wright, and Cruz Wright's able to get the effort play into the end zone. Now, here's the extra point attempt. We'll see if Sequoia can get this one through. High snap, Cruz gets this one, and it's tipped, and it's no good as that one goes wide left. And again, Sequoia's field goal unit is... So it's a 4-point game with 11 seconds left to go in the 3rd.
Saw Brian Bradley on that play again. He was just a dominating force on that D-line. And that's a huge positive point for that River Ridge defense and as a whole to keep it as a 4-point game.
Yeah, and if Sequoia wants to get into this game, I mean, this special teams mistakes is one of the last things that they want to do and one of the first things that they're going to have to correct, because, I mean, that is just not a mistake that they can afford to make over and over again. That is going to hurt them really, really bad in the long run.
So it's still a 2-score game as Sequoia unable to convert on the point after.
I mean, if you think about it, if they had made that...
I'm sorry, a 1-score game. They can score a touchdown. Yeah. What am I thinking? It's late.
It's
late. Let's go home.
It's not a game of field goals, although it has been tonight.
Well, yeah, that's probably why I said it, is because we've just been, this is the first time all night we've seen 2 touchdowns. So 11 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Sequoia about to boot this one back to River Ridge. As what is shaping up to be a very intense run down the home stretch. Pooch kick to the sideline. And that one's going to be falling on at the 29-yard line. Looked like the receiver was going to see if it was going to roll out of bounds so they could get the penalty, but they caught that one just before Sequoia got down there to pick it up.
Yeah, Isaiah Coughlin got that ball just before it went out of bounds.
And, I mean, Chase and Max, if you look at the scoreboard, Sequoia's down by 4. And, I mean, if you look back, they've missed an extra point, a field goal. And if they would have made those, it would have been 10-10. So a little bit of a concern here for the Chiefs that if it's going to get down to the last minute of play, special teams might not be something they can count on, and that's going to be very, very worrisome for them because that means the offense is going to have to step up very, very big.
Slot man in motion, handoff up the middle, and we've got a false start on River Ridge. Offensive penalties really starting to pile up on the River Ridge side of things.
Yeah, the first half it was all Sequoia penalty after penalty, but now it seems like River Ridge has been giving the penalty bug.
Yeah, River Ridge has gotten a penalty on at least every drive, and they've gotten multiple on the other drive, so it's really been hurting them here, but they still were able to score the touchdown last drive.
Sequoia, both defenses playing a very bend but don't break style of defense here, as they've both given up some big offensive plays, but Sequoia only sporting 6 points and River Ridge only sporting 10. So the defenses have played pretty well here tonight from Skip Pope Stadium. Slot man in motion again. This one's going to be a handoff and swallowed up in the backfield, as I believe.
That's Tyler Carter. And Avery Bourne again getting in there to tackle him.
Avery Bourne and Brady Curl, the big man number 50, both getting in on that tackle.
Guys, so Sequoia ends the third quarter on a high note, gets a touchdown, draws back to within a touchdown game, didn't make the extra point, but they're still back to within 4. Defense closes out the quarter by getting a big sack. It's second and very long for River Ridge. We've seen them convert on those, but Sequoia carrying a little bit of momentum here into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and although Sequoia was plagued defensively by all those penalties, they still were doing a pretty decent job. I mean, River Ridge was only able to score 3 points against them, and this half they've also been doing a good job, and with River Ridge hurting themselves with their penalties. But I think the Sequoia offense really is going to need to step up here because they're not going to be able to count on their special teams from what we've seen so far. And I mean, the defense has been giving them all the opportunities they've been needing with that interception and opportunities. So the offense just needs to capitalize on them.
You know, guys, another thing that we would be remiss if we didn't mention was, you know, last year Sequoia's kicking game was a non-issue. I mean, Steven Zarita was pretty much automatic.
Yeah, he was automatic. Yeah, exactly.
I think we talked through a ton of his extra point attempts just because he couldn't miss.
Yeah.
Sequoia really needing some of that magic, but I think the interior of that offensive line during the point after is going to have to do something because it completely folds every time there's even a little pressure put on it, and another false start by River Ridge is going to back them up 5 more yards.
And I think that even that special teams might have been something that wasn't necessarily paid as much attention to because of that presence of Steven Zarita the last 3 or 4 years. I mean, he really couldn't miss. So that was just something that Coach Teeter didn't really have to worry about.
Yeah, he didn't miss until it was gone.
River Ridge going the wrong direction here after 2 pre-snap penalties. They got to get to the 39-yard line, but the ball's spotted right at about the 16. So Latham going to drop back. He's got a lot of pressure behind him, and he's just going to throw this one out to Fincher, who's going to be run out of bounds after a pickup of about maybe 10.
Jackson Hancock tackled Fincher out of bounds, but yeah, Chase after about 9 or 10.
So third and what appears to be 12 coming up for River Ridge. After a big chunk pickup, still a long way to go for the Knights, but an excellent play call there. 11:49 left to go in the game. Another big third down for the Chiefs. If they can stop them here, that would be a huge momentum shift. Play clock at 10. Latham changing it up at the line. Play clock now down to 6. Running back in motion. Latham takes the snap. He's got pressure off the side. He gets hit, and that one's going to fall down to the turf as Sequoia is able to get back there to Latham and put some pressure on him. And a great job of getting back in the backfield by Carter Sandt. He's had an excellent defensive game. He just came off the edge and blasted Latham. Latham was able to get it away, though, and the punt team's going to come out for the River Ridge Knights.
And Sequoia defensemen doing a great job of reading the River Ridge, on certain plays, reading that River Ridge offense very early and being able to get to the backfield quickly by finding the holes and just bottling up those receivers, and in this case, the quarterback.
Trainer and Hancock back to receive. 5 seconds left on the play clock. 4, 3, and they're going to have to get this one off, and they don't. No, they do, as that one was snapped right at 0. Trainer catches this one, and he called for the fair catch at the 35-yard line. So Sequoia 11:39 left to go in the game, trailing 10-6. Huge offensive stop for the Chiefs after 2 big penalties on the River Ridge Knights. So Sequoia with another chance here to find pay dirt.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely saw a huge play by Matthew Trainer on that play on the last drive that really sparked the offense and gave the Chiefs a touchdown. But that was a big play, and big plays have been rare this whole game. But I'm really looking forward to see if the Chiefs have as much offense production as they did the last drive.
In a River Ridge drive that only took up just over 20 seconds on the clock, so it provides a lot of wiggle room for the Chiefs offense. We'll see what they can do with it.
Well, that drive started in the 3rd quarter, but it only took 20 seconds off the 4th quarter clock, which is good if you're Sequoia because you're trailing 11:39 left to go, 10-6. Sequoia trailing River Ridge. Trainer hands this one off, a little room up the middle, and a nice pickup on 1st down. And High Scores picks up 5. And that's more what Sequoia's offense needs. They need those 4, 5, 6-yard pickups on 1st down in order for this offense to be effective.
Yeah, I think the run game for Sequoia has been allowed because Brandon Burdett from the Knights hasn't really had that much of an impact. He's been pressured this whole game and hasn't done that much for the defense.
So Sequoia in that I formation again. They started playing around with that a little bit this year. Trainer takes this one, hands it off again to Pie Scores, and Pie Scores rumbles ahead and picks up 4.
Run by number 2, Jackson Hancock.
Hancock on the carry.
3rd down and short for the Chiefs.
This could be a huge 3rd down stop for River Ridge.
3rd and 1 coming up. Big down for both teams. Loading the boxes, River Ridge. Trainer hands this one off, and a big pickup for Sequoia, and that'll move the sticks. As Pie Scores hammers ahead for the 1st down on a pickup of about 5. So that'll move the ball to midfield, and it's 1st and 10.
Yeah, Sequoia's going back to their basics, just the classic run up the middle, try to grind and get those hopefully 4-yard rushes, but get those small rushes that add up to a 1st down.
Sequoia staying in that power I formation as it's been effective on the beginning of this drive. 15 seconds left to go on the play clock. Hand off to the fullback.
Trainer kept it.
And a pickup of 2 yards. No, it was the fullback. Somebody ran it 2 yards. Turn that light off.
A member of the offense ran it 2 yards in that play.
I'm going to go ahead and give our broadcast crew the okay to not come back down to us field side because these lights are hurting us. And we've got another whistle. So River Ridge wants to take some time to talk about it. And we'll take some time to go ahead and thank our sponsors with 9:36 left to go in the ballgame. Sequoia trailing 10-6, but they are driving and in good shape.
Alrighty, so first off, we'd like to thank Ready Mix USA. Ready Mix USA is a proud sponsor of the Sequoia Chiefs community. As a supplier of industry-leading products and solutions to satisfy the construction needs of our community, Ready Mix USA is honored to help build a better future for Cherokee County and their greater Atlanta area. Next, we have Pride Electric. Longtime supporters and past Chiefs football alumni at Pride Electric, they are proud to remain a part of the Sequoia family of Chiefs. Next, we have All About Health. In Woodstock on Highway 92, located in the Publix Plaza, since 1998, All About Health has been providing knowledgeable service that makes a difference. From vitamins and minerals, herbs to supplements, their extensive inventory fulfills all of our health goals. Find out what separates them from the competition and stop by today.
2nd and 8 coming up for Sequoia. Trainer in the shotgun. Hancock comes back, and Trainer going to keep the ball himself, and a big run for Trainer as he gets 9 yards on the carry, and that's going to be enough for a 1st down. So Sequoia starting to hit their stride offensively once again.
Yeah, that was a huge run by Trainer. I thought it was going to be gone again. That's what Chiefs fans can hope for when you see Matthew Trainer get more than 5.
And some more of that Trainer Lucas magic there, mixing it up, and Trainer able to take advantage of the defense and run quite up the middle.
Hand off to the fullback again. No, Trainer's going to keep it. Now he bounces to the outside. Got some space along the sideline, and he will be tackled at the 26-yard line. So a pickup of 14 for the Chiefs.
He was eventually tackled by Micah Martineau.
So Martineau on the tackle for the Knights, but another first down for Sequoia, who is starting to hit their stride offensively.
That's right, Cason. With just under a quarter left to play, Chiefs going with more of their bread and butter plays, using those short run game, and stringing together quite a drive here.
9:09 left to go. 20 seconds on the play clock. Trainer looks to the sideline. Power I formation. Takes it and hands it off up the middle as bouncing outside as the running back. He'll pick up about 2 or 3 yards. And that's Hancock on the carry. So 8:53 left to go in the fourth quarter of a huge Region 7 6A matchup between the Chiefs and the Knights.
Yeah, this game could really be the start of Sequoia's playoff push, but without it, it's going to be a much more difficult road to get to the postseason.
I think a loss tonight would pretty much keep them out of it. Shotgun formation, handoff to Cruz right, who goes up the middle for a gain of 3. So it looked like a little bit of an inside zone there by the Chiefs. So still third down and quite a bit to go.
A big third down right here.
And Sequoia continuing to go to those bread and butter buck sweep and fullback trap plays where they allow motion to go to one side and allow the running back to go either up the middle or around the edges.
Massey, the wide receiver on the far side. Ball on the near hash, Hancock in motion. Trainer takes this when he rolls out, finds Hancock, and Hancock's going to get the first down as he is finally drug out of bounds just past the line to gain. So Sequoia with a big pickup there on first down with that Trainer to Jackson Hancock Express. Guys, that's one of the big things that they like to do there, as they like to roll Hancock out, to roll Trainer out and find Hancock on a slant.
Yeah, if Micah Martineau wasn't there, I think Jackson Hancock really could have gotten to the end zone and given the Chiefs the lead.
1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Trainer hands this one off to Pie Scores. Pie Scores a lot of room, and he's going to pick up what looks like 7 or 8 yards. So Sequoia chunk playing this River Ridge defense to death here on this drive, and it would be huge for Sequoia if they could go ahead and get their first lead of the night. 2nd and 4, so he picked up 6. Trainer under center. Hands this one off up the middle, and diving ahead is going to be Cruz Wright. Cruz Wright is close, and I think this is going to be a 3rd and very, very short for the Sequoia Chiefs.
This is a crucial play. We don't want another adrenaline rush by Matthew Trainer where he drops the ball again. If you're a Chiefs fan, you're going to hope for a controlled run.
Guys, we keep saying this is a crucial play. There have been so many crucial plays in this game, as it seems like important third down after important third down keeps popping up. Let's see if Sequoia can pick up 1 yard here and get a fresh set of downs. Trainer under center. Going to hand this one off to Pie Scores. Pie Scores on the second effort. Did he get across?
I think he did. Just by that second effort. It did not look good at first. Oh.
And so that's going to change the downs. First down there by Pie Scores. Excellent job on the second effort. So Sequoia 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. 6 minutes and 15 seconds left to go in the ball game. Clock still running. Chiefs trailing the River Ridge Knights 10-6. Sequoia trying to keep those playoff hopes alive. Pie Scores and Lucas in the backfield. Ball to Trainer. Trainer going to try and bounce to the outside. He's got a little bit of space, cuts back inside, and he is taken down. And I don't think he might have got back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a yard there.
Taken down by Brandon Burdett just at the 5-yard line.
Great job by Burdett to keep containment there, not allowing Trainer to bounce to the outside and start using that speed to get into a foot race to the pylon.
Yeah, we know how elusive and hard to tackle he can be in the open.
Hancock under center, correction, Trainer under center again, flanked by Hancock and Lucas, and Hancock into the end zone. Touchdown, Sequoia Chiefs. Guys, we talked about it earlier. This team not saying die. When they got down in the Cherokee game, they were able to pull back in, and now they get their first lead of the night. 10-12 with 5:17 left to go in the ball game, pending the extra point, of course.
Yeah, they had a lot of pressure on their whole team on that drive. As I kept on saying, crucial third down, crucial third down. That whole drive was really important for the Chiefs to really have a chance to win this game, even though it was a 4-point game.
So still 5:17, a lot of football left to be played here, but Sequoia carrying some serious offensive momentum, and they're going to go for 2 here. As Hancock going to roll out, fires in the end zone, and the 2-point conversion is complete to Cameron Massey.
And Chase, that's exactly what we were talking about. Because the offense couldn't count on the special teams as much, they were going to have to count on themselves, and they just stepped up right there huge. They made up for both of those extra points, and now they're 4 ahead.
Yeah, what a drive. I was really impressed by how their run game really got going. Kept on handing off to Pike Scores and Lucas to grind those dirty yards out and finally get in the end zone.
So, guys, Sequoia's first lead of the evening, and they convert on the 2-point conversion. And now River Ridge going to have to score a touchdown in order to take the lead back. A field goal not going to do it here, but the way Sequoia's defense has been playing in the second half, you got to feel like Sequoia's got the momentum right now.
Yeah, and it's not just the way Sequoia's defense has been playing. It's the way River Ridge has not been playing almost, because, I mean, their offense has been getting penalty after penalty, almost 2 or more on every single offensive drive. So they've really been hurting themselves.
And pre-snap penalties. I don't know who on that offensive line keeps moving or is not set, but that was really crucial to the failure of that last offensive drive. I mean, we've seen River Ridge be able to get big chunk plays back, but, you know, 1st and 26 was really hard to overcome. So Sequoia getting ready to kick this one back to River Ridge. A good kick. It's going to list a little to the near side of the field. Dropped at the 8-yard line. Picked up and returned now, and that one's going to be taken all the way up to the 22. And a great effort there by the returner.
And Micah Martineau on the return, tackled by Jimmy Anderson.
And Chase and Max, one reason that all these plays are so crucial is because this is a very crucial game. I mean, in the region right now, as far as the playoff standing look, there's only 1 or 2 games separating 3rd through 7th place. So, I mean, it's very, very close. The Chiefs are not out of it. I mean, even if they do somehow end up losing tonight, I mean, there's still a way they could get in. But, I mean, yeah, it's very, very close in this region.
You're right. The region's so tight that these are games that we should be expecting. Handoff taken, given to the running back now, and he's going to try to bounce to the outside. He's got a lot of room, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds. I think he might have picked up the first.
Yeah, that was Tyler Carter. He gave a nasty stiff arm to a Chiefs defender to pick up the first.
They haven't moved the sticks yet.
And Chase and Max, that's just another testament to how tough this region division is, because, I mean, you just have powerhouse teams like Riverwood and Johns Creek and River Ridge. I mean, River Ridge, a team that went pretty deep into state playoffs last year, but Riverwood just showing them that they're not the best team anymore and that they can handle them.
Shotgun snap, handoff again to, I believe, Carter, and he's going to run into his own blocker, and a big tackle for loss for the Chiefs. And guys, I was just going to talk about how River Ridge has been a never-say-die team as well. The first play after losing the lead, and they hammer the Sequoia Chiefs for a 10-yard pickup. But now Sequoia with a big tackle for loss and puts River Ridge back behind the sticks with 4.5 minutes left to go in the game. Yeah,
Fincher followed the blocks in that one, but Ty Moore just came out of nowhere and put him to the ground.
You know, these edge rushers for Sequoia have been doing a fantastic job. It might not show it on the stat sheet, but they have had some key moments. As Massey in the backfield again, and a big hit as Sandt was in the backfield. River Ridge able to pick up what I think is 6, but that's going to bring up 3rd and 9.
And Avery Bourne with another quick read there, able to hop onto that River Ridge offenseman and not give him much of a gain at all.
This is 3rd and long. This Sequoia defense has completely turned on in the second half.
3rd and 9 coming up. Another really, really big play coming up here. 3 wide receivers to the far side of the field. Ball in the near hash mark. Running back in motion to the far side. Latham drops back. He's got pressure again. Finds a receiver, but he's going to be short by a wide margin. And that's going to bring up 4th and medium for River Ridge. Oh, my goodness, and we've got a flag in the backfield.
I think they're going to call Ty Moores for roughing the passer. I think he went too high. But Christopher Miller had a great tackle on Finchner on that after that reception.
Now, we've seen 2 crucial penalties waved off on River Ridge. Let's see what the call is here.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run and an automatic first down.
So saved by the laundry again is River Ridge, as Sequoia had a huge stop there on 3rd down.
And I think that's Sequoia's first defensive penalty of the entire half, so not at a time that they would like, but.
Yeah, Ty Morris is a great tackler, but he just went a little bit too high on that one. The ref saw it.
Latham in the shotgun again, and he sneaks free and picks up about 5 yards, maybe 4.
Avery Bourne brought him down.
Taken down by number 9, Avery Bourne.
So 2nd and 6.
Bring up 2nd down.
River Ridge on Sequoia's side of the field. Time getting away from us here. 2:55 left to go in the 4th quarter. Sequoia 14, River Ridge 10. Sequoia had been trailing the entire game up until about 3 minutes ago when they were finally able to find the end zone. A touchdown won't do it for the night. A touchdown will do it for the Knights. A field goal will not. And another false start penalty on River Ridge.
They've had a lot this second half.
And to quote the band Coldplay, this game is all yellow, baby, because we have had flags all over the field tonight, and that turns a 2nd and medium into 2nd and 11. 2:40 left to go. Ball on Sequoia's 47-yard line. Latham in the shotgun. 2 wide receivers on each side, running back on his right side. Latham drops back, fires this one over the middle, and that one's going to be caught by Jackson Head, who's going to get a lot of room after the catch. And that one's going to go all the way down to the Sequoia 28, so a huge pickup for the River Ridge Knights. And this one is getting way too close for comfort.
I thought the ball was going to get picked off. It was thrown right over the hands of a Chiefs defender, and somehow it landed perfectly in Jackson Head's hands.
So River Ridge finding the holes in this Sequoia defense at just the right time, despite the penalties that they have committed. They're moving down the field at a pretty good pace right now.
1st and 10. Ball on the Sequoia 28-yard line. Latham in the shotgun again. 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, and a running back. The setup. Hands this one off up the middle, and that one's going to go for a pickup of 4 yards.
Tackled by Carter Sandt right there.
Guys, we're under 2 minutes left to go. 1:50 left to go in the game. Sequoia's defense going to have to come up with another big play here. 1:45 left to go. River Ridge taking their time, not going to let any time stay back on the clock for the Sequoia Chiefs team if they're able to get it in the end zone, but that's a big if. Still have 24 yards to go. Shotgun formation once again. Good snap. Latham fires this one over the middle, and that one's going to be caught. And another first down for River Ridge.
Who else but Jackson Head coming up clutch with a huge gain for a 1st and goal.
Ball on the 7-yard line. 1st and goal for River Ridge. 1:23 left to go in the game. Clock is running now. 1:20. Sequoia with 1 timeout. River Ridge with 2. Carson Latham leading this drive down the field. Hand off to Carter, and Carter rumbles ahead, picks up maybe 3 yards.
It seems like this defense has been gassed from this whole drive.
Under a minute to go, fellas. It's starting to get testy here. 52 seconds left. Ball on the 3-yard line. 45 seconds left to go. 23 on the play clock. River Ridge not in any hurry just yet. Latham going to take the snap. He rolls out of the pocket. He's got a man to the side, and that's going to be Head, and Head's going to drive into the end zone for a touchdown. 34.5 seconds left, and who else but the big tight end, Jackson Head, as he pokes that one in the end zone. Thank goodness for that roughing the passer call if you're a River Ridge fan.
They're going to stay on the field and go for 2, it seems like.
Just an odd formation. They're going to come back and kick the extra point here. 34 seconds left. Big extra point attempt here. Low snap, and that kick is blocked. Oh boy.
A field goal could win it.
A field goal wins it for the Chiefs now, 34.5 seconds left.
That is a huge, huge block by Jackson Hancock. That was clutch right there.
And we know last time the Chiefs kicked a field goal early in the game and got blocked, but we wouldn't know if it would have made it or not. So the Chiefs don't have any disconfidence in their kicker. So they could definitely go down the field and kick a game-winning field goal if necessary, if they can't get in the end zone time.
And look, the Chiefs are no stranger to scoring quick touchdowns. Chase, you and I remember the game all too well, the Cambridge game last year where they scored a touchdown with 11 seconds left, as well as last week they scored a touchdown with 59 seconds, as well as one with 10 seconds. So the Chiefs have the ability, they just need to put it together and put it together quickly. That is going to be the #1 priority.
So not quite out of the woods yet is River Ridge. Sequoia can win it with a field goal, but I wouldn't take that to the bank. But 34 seconds left to go. Let's see what the Chiefs can come up with here. As who else but Jackson Head, the big tight end for River Ridge, was able to find the end zone. Pooch kick now. That one going to be taken at the 30-yard line, trying to find some room outside. He's going to have to go down. That's Ty Moores, who can't find the edge. So Sequoia going to start from their own 32-yard line.
A decent amount of field to cover, and not that much time.
And 30 seconds left to go.
Matthew Trainer's going to need to throw some good passes this final drive if he's hoping to get in the field goal range. Cam Massey should be his prime target.
Either that or we dial up some classic Hancock, Lucas, or Pie Scores big runs to get down the field.
So 1st and 10 for the Chiefs, got to get to the 43, but there's only 30 seconds left. Trainer flushed out of the pocket, and he's going to be sacked. So Sequoia going to go ahead and use their last timeout with 23 seconds left.
Brian Bradley just put his O-lineman that he was facing to the ground. Like I was saying earlier, it seems like our O-line are a bunch of magicians.
Huge sack for River Ridge with 23 seconds left to go. Sequoia still trailing by 2. So Sequoia on the ropes, 23 seconds left to go. Hancock gonna have to take it himself, throws that one towards the sideline. And that one is caught. Nope, incomplete as he was out of bounds. So 16 seconds left to go.
It's getting slimmer and slimmer every play. Their chances.
And Ashton Hunt was the downfield receiver on that play, so if they do go for a big passing play, I think Ashton Hunt will be the main target.
4 wide receivers in the shotgun formation for Sequoia. 16 seconds left. Launches this one downfield, and that one falls incomplete. So this is for all the marbles.
And there's a man down in the backfield for Sequoia. Got up. That's Tayo Ugandele. Seems to be in some pain as he's hobbling off the field.
So 10 seconds left, 4th and forever to go for the Sequoia Chiefs, but they need some points as they trail by 2 with 12 left to go in the game.
This is for the game.
Three wide receivers in the shotgun formation. Trainer pressured in the backfield. He's got to let it rip. He steps up, fires this one down the field, picked off! And that's going to do it for the game. 3.5 seconds left, but that is merely a technicality as that one is picked off, and River Ridge is going to escape with a 16-14 win over the Chiefs and put themselves in the driver's seat for a decent shot at a playoff position. Guys, that one's a pretty disappointing finish. I mean, Sequoia had the defense, had the offense on the ropes. Ty Moores gets a roughing the passer penalty, and then River Ridge marches right down and scores a touchdown. What a heartbreaking way to lose a game, especially when River Ridge had so many penalties flags picked up on them, and Sequoia just couldn't catch a break there at the end.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Chase. That roughing the passer penalty really did it. That really gave them the momentum and gave them the rest of the drive to play off of and officially get the win for River Ridge.
So that's going to do it here from Sequoia. Your final score, River Ridge victorious over Sequoia, 16-14. Guys, you hate to see that happen, and that's pretty much going to do it for Sequoia's postseason hopes. But, boy, what a great game.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great game by both defenses. They held 30 points overall, but 3-0 at the end of the first half. Both defenses had a great game in the first half. But I don't think it's that pretty of a win for River Ridge. We're beating a 3-4 Sequoia team, going to 6-2 the Knights are, but I don't think that proves that much. I think that shows definitely some weaknesses for their future opponents.
No, yeah, it definitely wasn't a pretty game for either team. I think, River Ridge is showing other teams that they are maybe easier to beat than they were last year. Obviously, we did see that with River Ridge not going undefeated this year, but, I mean, River Ridge, a lot of penalties on offense in that second half, so they're going to have to improve on that if they do want to have a better shot at some maybe higher scoring games if they do play heavier or bigger opponents.
Well, let's give it to River Ridge. I mean, that was an excellent finish to the game there. You know, they got second life with that roughing the passer call, and they took advantage of it, and Sequoia had no answers for the passing game. And you even saw that play develop on the Jackson Head touchdown where Jackson Head was by himself. I mean, the pressure came off the edge, and that's how that play is exactly drawn up to be, is Head slips behind the pressure, quarterback rolls out away from pressure and throws it to the tight end, and they executed it to perfection. So I think that what you saw from this River Ridge team is with one of their top offensive players not in the game, they were able to get it done and find a way to win. You know, you hate it if you're Sequoia, but excellent job by River Ridge, and River Ridge still a lot of life left in them for the region play.
Yeah, I think the biggest play of the whole game goes back to that blocked field goal from River Ridge, because if Sequoia had at least put that up and possibly made that, that would be a whole different story. Sequoia would have a win, move to 500, but River Ridge's defense came up clutch, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah, that offense put together a beautiful drive towards the end of the game. Fans, thank you so much for tuning in here again tonight. Your final score from Skip Pope Stadium, River Ridge 16, Sequoia 14. We will see you guys next week for Sequoia's game against Riverwood. Thank you very much, and have a pleasant evening.